You're listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy on Paratalkradio.com, a member of the WLFE digital broadcast family, and is intended for listeners over 16. The topics, views, and opinions expressed on our show may not necessarily reflect the views or opinions of Paratalk Radio, our hosts, or our sponsors. Now, here are your hosts, Ted and Cindy.
Woo, all
Wait,
right.
I didn't do it.
Go ahead.
Hi, everybody.
I forgot to turn my volume down. John's not here to yell at me. That whole thing, working at home with the, with the station at home instead of, being up there.
I know.
It is what it is. But you know what, guys? We have an awesome show for you tonight. We have a dear friend on the show and someone that I'm proud to call friend as well. And Mr. Jason Hawes is with us this evening.
Hello.
Woo!
How are you?
Yay, we're so happy you're here, Jason.
I was doing a post that I was on here for you.
Yeah, I was just doing the same thing. Everybody does those watch parties, after we get going here, which is a cool thing. So
I know it.
I love it. So, hello, Barbara Reed, Timothy Morsch. Of course, he's already got the booga 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 started, Cindy.
Yes, Timothy, booga booga booga. Hey, Barb. Aw, hey, Steve.
So,
Steve, Mike, what am I talking about? Hey, Barry. Hey, Diane.
Yeah. So, and Diane's like, Jason, woo!
Right.
Well, thanks for having me on. We've been trying to do this for a while.
I know. We have
It's been tough, and it's not. I mean,
No,
all of us
right.
all of us are so busy with stuff, and
Absolutely.
they know what my life's been. They hear from me all the time because I run another show as well, Talk with Teddy, Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, and Saturday nights. So they all get to hear me bitch and whine.
It's all good. It's all good.
Hello, Deborah Anderson. How are you? So Jay, I mean, we got to hang out with you guys for a week. I think it was July, wasn't it, or August?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the end of July.
End of July. Yeah.
Yeah, of last year.
Yeah, it was.
It was a great time. I mean, great case.
Yeah.
It really was a good day.
It was a lot of fun. And meeting everybody was amazing, man. Your crew, your camera crew and everything. Oh my God, amazing people.
Well, and I think it's important because you got to remember it's not like most reality shows. I think you got to see that where I don't work for the production company. They work for me. And
right.
And so it's, I do what I'm going to do and they follow me around. They, try to keep up and stuff. And the crew's good because a lot of them were with me prior on my past show, and I brought them over to be on this show with me as well. And I mean, they're just phenomenal people. But I mean, we just get out there, and I think it's important, like you said, you got to spend a week with us because my other show, we'd go and we'd be there for a couple days here and there, and it was always rushing to get to the next case. But
right.
I don't have that demand anymore. It's pretty much I go and I'm at a place as long as I need to be at that place, and nobody's going to tell me any different. And we're able to accomplish what we want to accomplish before we got to move on to the next.
I think that's amazing, actually.
I think it's important because, the amount of teams that are out there doing these investigations and they think they can go there for 4 hours or 6 hours and come up with an answer. You can't. You got to put yourself in there. You really have to take the time and the research. You need to.
Yeah, and we actually now we have the time to be able to do that, where I don't feel we had that on our past show. Which again, we had a lot more demand to. Well, you got to hurry up because you got to be at the next place, and I don't have that now. I'm working hand in hand with the Travel Channel, and they just allow us the freedom to do what we're going to do and record it.
Yeah, and it's nothing. We're not talking negative at all about the past show. The past show was fantastic. I mean, that was like
paved the
awesome.
way for a lot of these shows that
Absolutely.
we have now.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
I just mean I don't have the issues of time and things of that nature.
Thankfully.
And I think that's important. And we're having fun. I mean, Dave and Steve have been with me for so long. We're a family. I think you got to see that as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
and also you get to hang out with us and see our joking styles. The way it's funny
We sure did.
well, we'd start busting on Ted. He didn't know if we were serious or not.
I
It
think
took me a
Teddy-
while. It took me a while.
think Teddy, because when we finally saw the show, and because of course I wasn't in the house when you guys were doing it. Here's one point in the kitchen where I'm going, oh my gosh, Teddy, what is that mug on your face? He looks like.
But it's funny. At one point, we're telling him he's got to get out of the car and walk really slow because they're going to do a slow-mo camera shot. But it didn't click to him. Wait a minute. If they're doing a slow-mo and I walk slow, it's going to be twice as slow. So he's all walking slow and we're walking normal. And but yeah, we just kept on having to throw him curveballs. Keep him busy.
That is hysterical.
Yeah, and I felt so bad, Cindy, because I don't know if we even discussed it with you, or when I first got out of the car, I actually broke one of their lights in the back seat, and they were giving me, and I don't remember which one it was. They said, "Oh, now you got to pay for that."
Yeah,
I'm like, "What?"
We're gonna dock you, but I'm not being paid in the first place. We'll figure it out. It's not my problem. Ted, it's yours.
It's not my problem, Ted.
This isn't the TED show. That's what the TED show.
That's hysterical.
Oh man,
so funny.
but I'll tell you, it was an experience that I will always cherish, because you, Jason, Cindy and I have talked about this 100 times easily.
Oh yeah.
That when it comes to now, you know, I mean, you can watch any reality TV show when it comes to ghost hunting that you want, or any type of paranormal investigation. The things that you see and hear from there, there's times you're just like, man, you know what, I can't watch it no more. What changed for me with you guys is that when I was actually there with you guys, it was very professional. It was, but it was fun. It was relaxed. It wasn't a bunch of hoopla. It was straight to the point. Let's find out what's going on. You guys were real. I mean, I tell these people that watch our shows all the time, there's only one show that I watch. That's it. And I know what they produce. And it's because they are real. They're giving you facts. They're giving you what they've got. There's no 100%, crap behind them. They're straight right there telling you exactly what they find. That's it.
Yeah, and I think I even said to you, Ted, if anybody asks you to say something that isn't true, you tell me, and I'll put that person on a plane home, because that's not how we are, and that's the way I've always been. It's nothing personal, and some people might think that I'm abrasive and everything else. I'm not. I fight to keep the honesty. I fight to keep the truth.
And I saw that.
Yeah, and like I told you, I said, if anybody, and I told you, nobody will ask you to say something that's not true. But if anybody ever did, you tell me, and that person will be on a plane home. Bottom line.
And that was one of our big, huge things. Like we were so huge on that being like the ethical grade that it was. We told everybody verbatim what you had said to Teddy, because that just blew us both away. We were so happy about that. You're like up here for us, because when it comes to truth and honesty and ethics and morals, like that's a big deal to me, and it's a big deal to Teddy. So when you said that, like there was bar none after that. We're like, okay, he's legit, know?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think your honesty, your morals, that's what sets you apart from everything else. And when I decided I was going to come back to television, because I talked with Travel, because Discovery had just purchased them, and I had been asked, I was offered 40 different shows to go back to, and I didn't want to just go back to any show. I wanted a show that I wasn't going to have to answer to anybody. I wasn't going to have to follow anybody else's. I want the show to go this way. No, if I went back to television, I wanted to pretty much show everybody, the viewers, how a true investigation goes from the beginning to the end. Nothing, no misleading, no trickery, no faking, anything. And I had told Travel Channel that, and they said that's what we're about. We want you to make a show that you're happy with, how you really do it. And that's the only reason I decided to come back.
And I think that's hugely important. I mean, first of all, you had your stardom, really. Thank goodness that you had that, because a lot of people just starting out would not be able to have that kind of
That's true.
They wouldn't be able to. They'd have to placate to the corporation, right?
And I think that's important because even when I agreed to do Ghost Hunters, because I had turned down doing that show 5 times, doing television 5 times, it was I don't want any things going on. This is going to be real, and that's what it's always been about for me. And if I ever feel like something isn't legit, then I clear that. I remove that. I don't want that, because that's not what it's about. I was involved in this field years before television. I'll be involved in this field years after television.
Yeah.
Right.
In shows, TV shows, they can go on. Production companies can go on to make more shows. Things like that won't affect them, but it'll destroy our credibility, and that's all we have. I think that's the most important thing.
Well, Cindy and I, we've struggled. Well, Paratalk Radio now is 4.5 years, which is a long time for a podcast or an audio cast. It's a long time. We know that most of them only last 16 months if you're lucky. And so we've struggled over the years keeping Paratalk Radio. When we come up with the idea, we wanted it to be real. We wanted it to be raw. We wanted it to be factual. We didn't want any bullshit, And so basically we've struggled because we've had a lot of hate mail and all that stuff about our show, but we don't care. We're to the point where people now look at us and they go, well, we know that Teddy and Cindy are not going to steer us wrong. They're going to give us exactly the way they see it.
Yeah.
And we love it.
And sometimes people, like I said, sometimes people will think you're being abrasive or you're mean. But Ted, you got to see, I am so straightforward that sometimes it does come off like I'm abrasive, but I'm not. I'm just straightforward. I want it this way, and I'll tell you exactly how I feel. I'll never hold back. And some people take that wrong, but I think you got to see that people are taking that wrong. I'm a nice guy. It's just I want you to know where I stand. Bottom line.
Right. No, and I totally get it. It took me a while to figure out things myself. I mean, you have to remember that, I was coming onto something that, first off, that you didn't even know. You didn't even know that I only had one time at that location.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's like, so I was kind of stumbling over things myself because I was thrown in the middle of it. And then, with you guys, you have a good reputation. You guys are, on TV and stuff. And it's like, I was a little overwhelmed at first, but it took me a little bit to settle down, probably 3rd day or 4th day, but I'm kind of an emotional person, I mean, empathy just runs through me like hugely. And so I do tend to be a little standoffish, and I get a little shy, but I thought you guys, honestly, overall, I would work with you guys anytime because I think you're real. I think you project the truth, and it comes from the heart. I think you guys are just awesome guys. I really do. I really enjoyed working with you guys.
Well, thank you. That means a lot. That does mean a lot because this is truly who we are. And I think you got to hang out with us for a week. Yeah. You got to see that. This is exactly who we are. And also me, Steve, Dave, we joke. We're a family, and we joke. We bust on each other. We poke fun at each other. And
oh my gosh!
You guys got to experience all of it.
I every time Steve jumps from a spider or something, oh my God, I want to piss my pants.
Oh my God.
Literally, I'm like, oh God, he didn't. Oh, and then you hear it when you're standing outside the house and you hear him yell or scream. I'm like, oh.
I had to put him at one point. I had to put him in a lock and literally a hold to hold him because he was flipping out because something got in the truck and he was going to break stuff. So I had to subdue him. And you feel bad. I love him. He's like my brother, but I had to lock him up, and he still thanks me to that day because he's like, I have no idea what I would have broken. Well, I wasn't going to give you the chance.
Hey, Cindy, you want to take a moment and say hi to everybody real quick?
Yes, I would like to say hi.
Because we got a lot of people in here, and some of them have some stuff for Steve. So if you want to get to that quick, we can.
Yes, let's see. We have Deborah Anderson, Tammy Petty, Diane Reamer McCarthy, Lisa Duncan Pullen. She said, congratulations, Jason. And Diane said, Ghost Hunters got me living ghost hunting. Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. Barry said, the old Ghost Hunters was great to watch, and it spawned other paranormal shows that are also great to watch as well. And he's a huge fan of Ghost Nation. Okay. Chris Sanders, hey. Hey, Edna. Let's see. I have a bunch of people. I'm sorry. Hey, Tom Nally.
I love it. Hi, Teddy. Hi, Cindy. Hello, Jason. That's what he says.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Marie, I love hers. Marie says,
Yeah.
Jason is no nonsense, straight shooter, not a bad thing.
That's not a bad thing. But wait a second. I need to say something. As Jason's saying this, what I have to tell you, what was most important is these guys don't act like stars. They don't act like number one, they weren't assholes. They were completely down to earth guys, and they acted to us like we had been around them forever, allowing us in on their jokes, talking, laughing with us.
Sometimes making you the butt of the jokes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, that's important because people make the TV. TV does not make the people. Yeah. And that comes and goes. And so if you become a different person because you're on TV, then you made the wrong choice getting into TV in the first place. You want to be the person you were or the person you are should be the same person that shows up on camera and the same person you are off of camera. Because I mean, that's the reality of it all. That's who we are. And you guys got to see that. There's nothing different from the person you see on camera to the person hanging out BSing in the back seat of the truck with you.
Right.
So it's just who we are.
Right.
It really meant a lot. I mean, to see that, I actually was fangirling so hard. I was fangirling on all three of you guys. I was so excited. But
it took you no time to feel like you were just part of us.
Right. It was like a smooth transition. It really was.
Well, I'm gonna start over here because my watch party has a lot going on. So, yeah. So Phil Simone, Michelle Millens, Ian Griffin, Eric Julian, Steve Brandt, Mike Clark, Trish Cross. I like that name, but don't say that 3 times fast. Michelle Green, David Littlefield, Sandra Olarvia. That I just screwed up her last name. I'm so sorry, Sandy. Lisa Hagedorn, Lisa Gundy, Jim Jerkins, Pat Claude, Steve Brandt. My sister Tina is watching.
Hey, Tina.
Scott Wells, Joseph Fisher. So there's quite a few on there right now.
Yes. So Marie says Jeff, her partner says, Jeff almost ran into Jason at Charlotte Airport last fall. Literally almost ran him over.
I mean, I've been through Charlotte a lot, so it's very possible. So. And it's funny. You go to the airport, and it's not, a lot of time when you get to Charlotte's nice because it's a busy airport. So everybody's moving so fast that very few people recognize you unless you're sitting still. Yeah. But then you go to other airports that are slower. It's like everybody recognizes you. But I love Charlotte. It's probably one of my favorite airports out there.
That's
well,
cool.
You do have a face that's very recognizable. I'm just saying.
And the hairdo as well. I mean, the hairdo.
Yes, my girlfriend loves men with your hairdo.
Oh, well, it's Mach 3 turbo right there.
Well, I'm getting there.
You're a quarter of the Mach 3 turbo.
I don't think I want to do the Mach 3.
No, that's all right. You could join in, Cindy. Come on.
It works for some people. But it doesn't work for everybody. I mean, if Steve tried to do it, he could look like a POW. I don't know.
Barry Martin here says, I've met Steve Gonzalez at the New Jersey Para Unity a couple of years ago and was down to earth and very informative about the paranormal subject. He is a really nice person.
He is.
That's truly who Steve is. And I've known Steve, my gosh, makes us old, but like 30 years. It's insane. I've got pictures of Steve with Haley when Haley was a little baby sitting on his lap. It's funny because we've just known each other for so long. I've known him longer than I've known Grant. A lot of people don't.
Wow.
Yep. I've known Steve for years prior to Grant.
I didn't know that. I guess I thought I guess from the old show, I just always assumed that you knew Grant first.
No, and it's funny because so what happened with the old show was usually I investigated with Steve all the time. But Steve was having because Steve was in law enforcement, he was having a problem getting to the cases on time. He was always showing up late. So I would get in and investigate, and Grant was with me. So it was Grant and me heading in and investigating, not Jay and Steve like it usually would have been. So that's how the whole Jay and Grant thing really started. But before that, it was always me and Steve.
Right.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's crazy.
I gotta throw this in here. I know it has nothing to do with it, but my sister just said my niece is. God, she's not. I don't even think she's a year old now, but she apparently is watching us on TV, and she says, "Oh my God, Elena just said Teddy." That's her first word. It's her first word. That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's crying. My sister's crying.
Aw, Tina, it's okay. She didn't say mama.
Yeah, it's okay. I'll take that. Chris Sanders.
Jason, you're from Avon, right? Yeah. Well, I was born in Canandaigua. Yeah, that's correct. And I moved to Avon, and that's where I grew up before I moved to Rhode Island. So, And Teddy, you're out of Avon.
Yep. We kind of missed each other, a couple times though. I mean, I think I graduated long before you did, though, Steve, because I think I'm much older.
Jason, you mean?
Jason?
Or Jason. What did I say?
Well, I didn't graduate out there. I graduated here in Rhode Island.
What did I call you?
You called me Steve, but
oh Jesus!
I actually have family who still owns the gun store right there in Avon.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I can't believe I called you Steve.
It's all
I can't either.
So good.
Yeah,
I don't have that
I'm
many tattoos though.
Right, he has a lot of tattoos.
Yeah, he's covered.
Yeah. Well, one of the most my favorite places that's notoriously haunted is the Avon Inn, and some of the biggest people have stayed there. Katharine Hepburn, the Fords. I mean, a lot of people, and we did a 3-year study there for cases, and it was such. When I get into old buildings, I don't know about you, Jason, smack me.
Call me Dave.
Oh my God, I don't know. I've been looking at the chat, and I'm like, I don't know why I got it on my head. But anyways, I get in there, and it's like, I love old buildings. I am one of these people that love things that are so old. And Cindy and I have discussed this a million times. You go and you place your hand on a wall and you just feel the energy from the past. You think about like who's been there and what's happened in that building. And it's just amazing stuff. So like when you go out and you do the investigations, even for residential in some of these really old places, do you ever get that feeling of just like, man, what has happened in this place? And
absolutely.
Does that ever, yeah.
Absolutely. Like when we were filming out at the case in New York with you. I mean, the place ties to the Underground Railroad. It was amazing. And then when we were out in Virginia and at a house that was owned by a direct descendant of the original Pocahontas.
Wow.
And then but the railing that's in the house was actually part of the railing that was at another house, the actual South's White House, the president's house, and his son fell off and perished. And when you're touching all these things, and you're like, these things have so much history. God only knows what energy is also attached to them.
Yeah.
Right.
It's crazy to think about the history about a location, an item, and then be able to try to understand all that's taken place in all of that time period, right? And to bring you to that moment and the reason you're there. It just is like so like crazy.
It blows your mind. I mean, Cindy, the amount of times we go on investigations and we do the research. I mean, Cindy and I have worked together for years, and it's like that you get so like, oh my God, can you believe this? And you're passing on the information, and you're looking at this stuff. You're like, wow, this is just so amazing. And what's happened here and who lived here and all that stuff. And it's like, it's just, for me, one of my favorite things about paranormal investigation is the history. That's one of my favorite parts. Yeah. It's unfortunate.
And that's that's important why with this new show, we really, because anytime we do an investigation, we've always tried to find the entire history of a place. And that's why with this new show, Ghost Nation, it was so important to really show the people how we're able to find the historical information and true information on the property. Because a lot of people will buy a house and they'll hear, well, it was this, or these people died there, and you go and you're able to find out that that's not accurate, but this part is. You're putting pieces of a puzzle together on every investigation, right. And in real life, when you're doing an investigation, that's what you're doing. You're putting pieces of a puzzle together so you can see the whole picture, and that's why I wanted to focus so much on showing everybody what truly goes into an investigation from the beginning to the end. And,
right.
and I think we're able to accomplish that with Ghost Nation. I mean, it's been shattering records. It's been we've been doing phenomenal. We're the highest rated show out.
Look at our episode. Our episode was, oh my God.
It was crazy.
Let alone that place was crazy. I mean, we were sitting outside watching the monitors when something went through the house and nobody else was there. How do you explain that?
I literally have goosebumps right now. I remember how excited you're like, did you see it? I'm like, what are you talking about? And you're like, okay, just sit down and watch this. And I'm not saying that when you showed us this, and we were like,
yeah, you're mind blown because you see it actually start to manifest, and then you see it start to break down when it gets to the other doorway. That was wild. That was an incredible piece of footage that, I mean, very few people out there will ever be able to catch.
Yeah.
Your brain cannot literally look at this and make sense out of it, because you're like, what is going on right now? Like, you could literally, it was like if somebody had taken a video, created a video and said, okay, these are the steps to manifestation of a spirit.
Yeah.
And then you start here and it shows something. You could see something, and then it just progresses, and then it starts dissipating, and your brain just is literally like, what in the hell?
Especially when it happens when you least expect it. I mean, this is during the day, during the afternoon,
right?
We're just going through other footage that seeing if the cameras had picked up anything from the night before, and I get an alert on my watch because the cameras alert us when they pick up motion, and when I click on it, it shows up in the computer, and I click on that, and that's what opens up. So you're like, wait a minute, this just happened like 10 seconds ago. Hang on. So, and I think that's also nice too, because the equipment has come so far over the years.
Oh my gosh.
You're able to be away from the property, but still hear and see anything that goes on in that property.
Now, people ask me all the time, Jason, they're like, so what happens to that video? Does it get put to somewhere where people can examine it? Do you guys use it to try and, I don't know, educate other people with it? What do you do with that footage? That's a rare piece. That's something that nobody else has ever caught. So what do we do with it?
Throw it out. I mean, what? No, actually, and it's funny because I've been talking with them at Travel about putting up a web page on the site that I can upload the footage of the stuff that we've captured, so people can actually go and spend their own time checking it out on their own and analyze. Right. So we're working on putting that up, because the websites I've got, we already get so many visitors. I mean, the TAPS website alone gets 90 million visitors a year.
Right.
If I start loading videos on, it's probably going to totally kill me bandwidth wise.
Right.
The amount that the servers I already have to pay for are insane. So put it on their site where people can go there as much as they want, analyze it, check it out, and give us their thoughts.
Yeah, because it's something that you just know, but it'll be hell and high water before somebody else catches something like that. That was a first of its kind ever caught on video.
Yeah. I mean, and we've been really lucky with the cameras we've been using and just having them rolling 24/7. The second season, our first episode of second season, the Witching Tree episode, we were able to catch again what appeared to be a shadow that manifested and walked down a hallway. And the nice thing was, upon going back and looking at the history where that thing was coming from, because it didn't make any sense to us. There's a window over there, but there used to be a door. And it was a door, and now it's a window, and the door is now on the other side. So that made a lot more sense to us. But yeah, we were able to catch that as well. I mean, just having these cameras up and rolling for a week or two, like we did in Pennsylvania at that Witching Tree episode, we were running for 2 weeks straight there.
Wow.
So it's just nice. It helps out so much.
I'm going to come back. There's a question here from Scott in Tennessee that says, on the topic of accurate history, how often do you find out that the folklore of a site is completely baloney, and yet there is still stuff going on?
Well, a lot of times we found that at a lot of different times, but going back to the first episode of second season, The Witching Tree, where there were all these claims of, witch supposedly being buried under this tree. We were starting to dig through the history and finding more and more information that seemed to make it more and more legit. There's what you got to remember, a lot of those folklores and those tales might not be 100% accurate, but they're coming from some piece of truth.
Right.
So you got to find that. You got to find where the truth, that true part is, and where maybe it blew up from there and became something that it's so blown out of proportion. But a lot of times there's always that little bit of truth in those folklores.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound familiar, Cindy? What am I always saying? With every story, there's an ounce of truth, and
There's
it's up
a
to you to
little bit of
figure out
truth.
what that truth is.
Yeah.
So Scott actually had a question prior to that one, which I just saw. He said, question for Jason, do you ever look at the proliferation of para shows that saturated the market after the success of Ghost Hunters and wonder, where are all these hacks coming from?
Honestly, I don't watch a lot of paranormal television. I watch our episodes because I have to sign off on the cuts and make sure that what I want in them is in them. But I've never really been one to watch other shows. I think I've watched a couple shows in the past of other series because certain things, like we were asked to investigate a case where a girl was claiming to be possessed at one point. We checked it out, and we said she needs medical attention. Well, another show came in there, and I'm not gonna say the show's not on anymore, but claimed that this girl was possessed and they were going to help her out. And the problem was, she wasn't. It was a medical condition. She needed to be medicated. And this show, I felt, took advantage of her and the situation she was in just to try to boost their ratings. So I really don't watch much television because things like that I'd be scrutinizing. I think there's a lot of great shows out there, and people are going to find something they like and dislike in all the shows out there. I mean, you've got Amy and Adam out there; they're kicking butt. They're doing
amazing
spirits. I don't know Zach personally. I've talked to him a couple times. Seems like a great guy. I haven't caught any of the shows, but I mean, he's been doing great for Travel Channel.
Tom Naily just put in here, sometimes visiting a place, haunted or not, and learning the history can tend to get you so deeply obsessed about that particular place. I have experienced that recently with a non-haunted place that is rich in history. So it's more of a comment. So, yeah, I get that. Robert White from Australia says, "Are you too busy making your own show to watch other shows? Is that what's happening?" Or
no, I think it's more just I don't ever want to scrutinize the way somebody else is investigating, or I think each their own. I think people are all doing things differently, and I think that in the fact of everybody doing things differently, it helps push the field forward because you see things that work, things that don't work, and you're able to take those next steps. But yeah, of course, I'm busy doing our own show, but I'm also busy, raising my children and being and everything else.
Busy lives. Now, my sister actually has a question for you, Jason. Tina asks, Jason, what made you get into the paranormal?
I had my own personal experience back when I was about 19, which before that, I didn't think anything of the paranormal, never really thought about it. But I had my own personal experience, which I saw some things and I tried to research them. But upon researching them, everything out there back then was, look at this orb. It's a ghost. Look at this. And I could recreate those. It used to drive me crazy because, you snap a picture and the camera, digitalizes around something or reflects around something and it gives it that round appearance. But there was just so much garbage out there that I'm one of those people that I always hands-on. I need my hands-on I need to come up with my own conclusions and figure things out myself. And so from there, it was just, trying and understand how these things were possible. And I had no idea it would blow up to be what it's become.
There you go, Tina. There's your answer. Barry Martz has got a question.
I was just going to say I have one too from
Okay.
Linnell.
Okay, go ahead with yours then.
Jason, you have traveled all over looking for the paranormal. Have you had any recent unexplained activity occur at your home?
No, I haven't. I would love for something to happen here because let me tell you, I can investigate from the comforts of my couch. I think that would be great. No, honestly, and I've heard people claim that something's followed them home, and to each their own. I've never had that. I've never had that situation happen. So, and
Right.
maybe the things are like, well, he's got three sons and daughters still. No, I'm not going there.
Oh, next question. Barry Martz says, do you use wireless closed circuit TV cameras with a DVR player? And what are your thoughts about one versus the wire, wireless versus having the wires?
I think, yes, we use the closed circuit setup, and we also use wireless cameras that tie directly into the internet and can feed directly back to our phones. I think each wired and non-wired have their benefits. Of course, wired, it's a better signal. You're not going to have to worry about certain things breaking it up, but it's a pain in the butt to run all those wires. It's a pain in the butt to not trip over them when you're in the dark, when you're walking around. Exactly. So the wireless are my favorite because you can just place them, plug it in, and go. You don't have to do anything as long as you're within range. We also have repeater systems, so we're able to run those cameras further.
Right.
So I think there's definitely pluses for both, but of course with the wireless, you have to be concerned that you might lose signal here and there, and sometimes it can be spotty depending on the kind of walls you're feeding through or the distance it is from one another.
So I do have Eileen. Hi, Eileen. But she says, is Jason married? So we know that, Jason, you are married. How long have you been with your wife?
Oh my gosh. I met my wife in 7th grade.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yes. And it's all right. So now let me just say the 80s were a different time. So don't think I'm a bad person. I was a German kid moving from upstate New York to Rhode Island. And I met my wife because I decked her boyfriend. Anyways, it was a different time. I mean, I asked him twice who she was and if he'd break up with her because I wanted to ask her out. He didn't like that, but eventually he broke up with her so I could ask her out.
Chanel actually has a question here and says, she says, first off,
Eileen, sorry about that.
Yep. So she says, my favorite episodes are from the first 3 seasons of GH. I miss Barry. Also love seeing Grant. So it's not actually a question. It's a comment. Tom Naley has does the show have any plans to go back to Eastern State Penitentiary at all, since you got some awesome catches there in the past?
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
I love Eastern State. It was a phenomenal place to investigate, and I would love to go back. I've been back there probably a dozen times since we filmed there.
But you guys are doing residential.
Yeah, and we're actually going to be getting back to filming in the next couple of weeks, and we will probably do some commercial properties when we get back, just for the fact that we want this whole COVID-19 thing to really wither away. And I don't want to be jumping on a plane, flying out somewhere, then meeting up with some homeowners who probably have children, and now I endanger them. I endanger catching something myself and bringing it back to my family. So I think for the first few cases, we're going to be doing some commercial type properties that really don't have many people there, just so we can get some of those episodes done. Because you got to remember, we're asked to make 20 episodes. We only got 6 done before the lockdown with COVID. We had stopped production 3 weeks before, about 3.5 weeks before chaos really ensued, because we didn't want to get anybody sick or get ourselves sick.
Right.
I go through the airport. Right. Steve drives everywhere, but and so we had stopped production, and then about 3.5 weeks after, they literally locked production down. So so it's just one of those things where we just want to be safe for everybody, and we will be getting back and doing residential cases soon, but we just need to give it that time, because a lot of these homes we're going to, these people have small children, and or they have a mother-in-law or a father-in-law that are living in the home as well. And the least thing we want to do is endanger anybody when we're trying to really help them.
Right. And I really want to make a statement here with you guys, because I see your questions and stuff. It's residential cases are much harder sometimes than doing your commercial cases. There's a lot more involved, including because of the people that are living there. Your commercial are usually vacant buildings, which you can usually go in and do a lot of things. So I know that we've had lots of questions about you guys going back into commercial properties. We do residential. That's what GVPI has always done, and we felt that that's where we fit, you know.
And
It
that's what
was
we
better for
mainly
us.
that's
So
mainly what we do as well. That's what TAPS was originally formed for. The
right.
thing is, of course, when you're in a situation where you don't want to get people sick, but you still
Yeah, you have to.
you want to be able to make some TV shows for people,
Yeah.
you gotta weigh the options. And
Absolutely.
we'll do some great locations, but you know, and
I'm
then
excited
we'll get
about
back to the residentials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So back up here to. Sorry, Cindy, to cut you off. Go ahead.
Jason, are you still with Roto-Rooter from Diane?
I am. I'm still with Roto-Rooter. Actually, it's I've got my thing up there. It's my 15 year. I got that like 3 years ago.
Wow.
Nice. Congrats.
The thing, and of course, I do mainly commercial type properties where, and I also handle a lot of the recruitment side where I can go in and price out a big job and work behind the scenes. Going to a residential home is a little tough when you live in a state like Rhode Island, where my state's only 47 miles long and 38 wide, especially when you're famous, because everybody in Rhode Island knows you. So if I try to go to a residential home, it can become an hour job, can become a 4-hour job because everybody wants to talk, and I love to talk, but it's just it's not productive when it comes.
Hey, I have a leaky sink. Trust me, you want to do something. I have a leaky sink with 2 parents that I don't know the first thing about sinks. So there you go.
It's
What?
so funny that you have a sink issue and I have a. It's not okay. So not the faucet, but it's the handle for the sink for the cold water.
So is it a 2-handle faucet?
Yes, it's 2 handles.
So and is it leaking from there?
It's actually not leaking. So what has happened is I think something. So what it's doing is if you turn it on and you go to turn it off, you're like, it's still on. So what you have to do is hold the bottom to turn it all the way.
Yeah, all you got
Sounds like something
all you got
stripped.
to do is unscrew the handle, lift it up, and there's a little lock nut there that actually has a stem on it. You just tighten up that lock nut.
Perfect. I can do that.
I mean, that'll be $139. I'll send you the bill.
Oh my goodness.
That's so easy. I can do that.
Yeah, those are easy.
Kristen Holmes asks, have you ever worked on a case that hit home for you?
Oh yeah, I have. I've worked on a lot, especially cases that involve small children. But yeah, I actually did a case we had to go to a home on Christmas Eve because this one family, they had 2 small children that were literally poking themselves in their eyes because they were seeing what appeared to be people walking through the house, but they'd only see them from the chest up. So in other words, their chest would be on the floor level. So they would just see the chest and the head and the person walking. Come to find out, doing the historical research on the property, that the house was actually built. It used to be a farmhouse, and the floors were at a different height. So when they put this new home in, they did the new foundation and everything else. Now the floors are at a new height. So to us, it must be a residual haunt because these children are seeing things that the adults can't, but they were seeing these things walking just from the waist up, and so traumatizing to them. But just the fact that they were poking themselves in the eyes because they didn't want to see it. Especially as a father of 6, I mean, I live and die for my family.
Right.
So when it comes down to children that are scared or having issues like that, yeah, those hit really close to home.
Wow.
Cliff Cameron asks, you've seen a lot of things there. Have you ever found anything that's really scared you or bothered you?
The homeowners.
Yes, Jason. Yes.
Well, because you never know who's on the other side of that door. Even as a plumber, I've gone to homes. I had a job that I was sent to going back about 12 years ago that I walked in to fix a job. I was called in by the state to fix this job, and I didn't know that I was walking into a crackhead's house. And still had the pipe burning on the table and everything else. And I went to leave, and he stopped me and became confrontational. So it became a situation where I literally had to hold him down with my boot on his head while I called the police, and I had to have the police come. But then again, we've gone to homes where to investigate, where we went to a home years back that the minute we walked in, we got rushed back out because the lady had a loaded shotgun behind her door. She had a 357 loaded under her pillow. She was on so many medications that it was ridiculous. So
oh my God.
You got to remember, when you're going to these people's homes, you don't know what's truly going on. It could be something paranormal. It could be something medical. It could be something that's gone undiagnosed for these individuals. But either way, you're there to help them out.
Right. All I can go ahead.
Mental illness really isn't something to be taken lightly. And it's funny part is it's not funny. Number one, funny meaning weird or strange, is that even with what I do, because I didn't even tell you that I was a psychic medium when I met you. I just know your feelings about it. So it wasn't.
But that's you got to remember that's unjustified. People think that when it comes down to psychic, that I'm going to tear apart a psychic. No, I have friends that claim to be sensitive, and the thing is, I do believe in people being sensitive. If you go to 1,000 so-called haunted locations, and out of 1,000, 100 of those are actually haunted, your body tends to remember how you felt at those 100. So that doesn't make you a sensitive, but it makes you more sensitive to somebody who's never had that chance to go to 1,000 so-called haunted. Now, I do believe in sensitivity. As a guy who grew up doing martial arts and dealing a lot with chi and all that other stuff, I'm a big believer in that. I just believe that there's so many out there, and I think you could agree with this, Cindy. There's so many people out there who are truly not, but use it to try to defraud people from money wise and other things. I mean, hey, come to my house and I'll sell you a $500 special candle, and you can do this and do that. Let alone there's a lot of frauds out there when it comes down to it. And it hurts the true ones that are out there. I mean, I hate the word psychic because, I hate the word psychic because I feel like a 1-900 number should be attached to it. So I believe more in sensitives, people who are sensitive, who are just more sensitive than the others.
Yeah.
The one thing I like about Cindy, though, I mean, and it's why I
you don't have to tell her. She knows she's psychic.
yeah. But the reason that we like GVPI for the first 8 to 10 years, we didn't use psychics. We wanted to do this as scientific as possible, without having that, other thing floating around in here saying, oh, go here, go there, go there. Yeah. So what we did was we put in our bylaws that we were not going to use psychics. So we actually changed that. When I met Cindy, I had a case in Palmyra, and I remember this. I said, there's a lot going on here, and I needed somebody else to go with me that might have an idea. And so we brought her in, and she is one of those people that she doesn't want to know anything. She doesn't want to know anything about the case, the property, nothing. And she'll go in, and if she can point us to a direction, then that just gives me another avenue to go. And if it fails, it fails. But with Cindy, she's the real deal for me, and I've never had any issues with her, so that's why we've kept her on.
Well, and I think that's important because a lot of people who claim to be sensitive or whatever, and again, you can agree with this. I'm sure you tend some in the television industry will sit there and say, I don't want to know anything about the property, but then they'll research the whole thing online and through historical documents. So then when they're like, I guess what I just picked up. Well, wait a minute. But so there's a lot of that goes on, and I think that hurts the true. I mean, the real ones that are out there.
Yeah, and you know what? That is absolutely correct, and that is why I also do not want to know the location until I'm going there. Yeah. That's it. You tell me where I'm going. You text me the address so I can just go, and that's it. Don't
I had helped out on a show years prior to doing Ghost Hunters, and I had actually, because I had helped out on lots of different shows, MTV Sphere and other things, and I'm not going to say any names, but there was one person who I 100% remember, this so-called psychic who was going to this property. They're like, I don't want to know where I'm going. I don't want this. I don't want that. And that he's saying this all on camera. But then the minute the cameras were off, he's going through documents, going through the history of this stuff. So,
oh no!
And you're like, well, wait a minute. You said on camera you didn't want to know anything about the property, the location, or anybody that passed away there. But the minute the camera got turned off, you have this whole portfolio that you're already going through. So that's bullshit. And that's the thing. And that's the things that drive me crazy. That's when reality television isn't real.
Right.
And I can't stand things like that. So I saw a lot of that in the past,
right,
which has always made me sway away from, not that I don't trust sensitives or psychics, but it's just, why take that chance? I'll just do my thing, and we'll
I agree.
I understand completely.
What helps me was
what I do. I
literally
get information. And I'm like, how the frick did I just?
But it drives you crazy when you get those people who are pulling that stuff.
Well, and what helps with this whole situation with Cindy is, like, there's times where I don't even tell her the case is planned, we're already going, and I'll just say last minute, Cindy, are you busy? No. I go, good, here, we're going to this location. And then she doesn't have time to figure it all out. You know, so I like that.
Personally, I'm lazy. I don't like social media if I don't have to. I do it for my business, and I love you guys. That's not what I'm saying, but I'm lazy. I don't want to have to social media if I don't need to. That's way too much on my brain. So if I had to take the time to research shit, that would be ridiculous. There is no way this girl is taking the time to do all that business.
All right, so I want to get to a couple questions here, Cindy. Yeah. All right, so we have Lisa pulling up here. She says, Jason, what was your all-time favorite investigation?
Well, we do a lot of cases that aren't televised as well. You got to remember, we do cases for law enforcement, and you know this, Ted. We do cases for law enforcement. Mm-hmm. We do cases for certain religious organizations where we get sent to write up preliminary reports on if a person is possessed or there's an inhuman haunting. Right. I mean, some of those cases, I can't even say they're my favorite. They're kind of some of the most traumatizing. But my favorite, geez, I think it doesn't even have to have paranormal activity. If I'm able to go in and figure out what's truly going on, then it's some of my favorite cases. I mean, we had cases where we found people mixing prescriptions, creating hallucinogens, had nothing to do with the paranormal.
Oh my gosh.
But things like that are just, you feel so good about yourself. And it's one of those cases that you love. The Cerrito house on, that we did with Ghost Nation in New Jersey, where we were able to find that they had a broken outlet and it was backfeeding. So it was creating all these high magnetic fields to the entire house and giving right near their baby's head, right near their son and their daughter's head, their heads at night. And we had an electrician come in, we fixed the problem. They haven't had any more problems. I mean, things like that are truly my favorite case, because you've really helped out. You've really done something, and you've left this family in a much better place than they were when you got there.
I think that's important, to be honest. I think that's why we all do it, because we all want to help the people that have to live in these environments. Right?
Yeah, we've gone through a couple cases that we've had thrown at us that we've heard certain things that have happened, and we've had to just shake our heads and go, I can't believe that was done or whatever. But ultimately, yes, we go into this to help people. And when we get that call that, hey, this team was here and this is what they told me and stuff like that, it's like, we don't even badmouth the team that were there. You can't do that stuff. You go in and you help them and you try to come up with some answers for them, and then you move on if you can. For us, sometimes it takes months or weeks or years to even finalize a case. And you can't even really say it's finalized, because there's so much out there we still don't know. Yeah. But, I did want to say before you have to go on us, Jason, I did want to bring up one of my favorite episodes. the lighthouse where the chair moved up in the attic of the lighthouse.
Race Rock Lighthouse. Okay,
That
Fisher Island Sound. Yeah, Connecticut.
do you know how many times I rewound that and watched that episode over and over and over?
That was wild. That really was. And I mean,
Yeah.
I just wish that they had shown that I actually did catch a fish, but and that,
Well, we still have to go fishing, by the way.
absolutely. Man. I mean, I've taken my boys out lately. They've been catching stripers and everything else.
Really, that's cool. So I know I want to put this out there because I know it's something that if you're ever back home here in Avon, the Avon Inn would love for you to come up and to experience the inn and see what you get. We've talked about it on several times. We've talked about having you guys come in, and so if ever you would like to, just give me a buzz, and I'd love to bring you guys up in there.
I would love to. My old area. I grew up there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
And I'll take you to some really good fishing spots that I found lately.
I'm game.
Yeah, well, I'm a big cat fisherman, man. I love fishing catfish. So
You don't do the whole noodling, right?
no, are you kidding me? No, not here, anyways.
I'm all set with that. It's I met a guy
I don't know what you guys are even talking about.
noodling is all right. Noodling is when they'll shove their arm in a stump, or in a hole,
In a hole.
and the catfish will grab onto their arm and they'll pull it out. But I met a guy from Oklahoma who did noodling, and he was telling me all about it and talking to me in the airport at one point. And he literally had, and I said, "Man, don't you ever worry about snapping turtles and stuff?" And Cindy, this is no joke. He goes, "Oh yeah, I worry about them all the time." Because he had lost a finger from a snapping turtle. And I'm like, what? And so you still choosing to? And I felt bad because I was like, don't you ever worry about snapping? And then he does this, and I never realized. And shook his hand. I didn't realize he was already missing a finger. But it's like, oh yeah, probably should have been a little more soft with that one.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'm over the noodling.
Yeah,
There you go. I just want to say hi to Betty Bloom. I haven't seen her on here before, but hello. Thank you for watching, Betty. Cookie Stringfellow's on here as well. Wow, it's pretty nice. We got them all coming out of the woodwork tonight.
My nephew Eddie. I love it. He said, hi Aunt Cindy K. Thompson and her co-host Ted.
Oh.
I'm the co-host. Just for everybody to know and understand. I'm the co-host.
Yeah, we share as much as we can here, though. That's so. All right, so Cliffy Cameron says, "Don't go fishing without me." That's because him and I have history of fishing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I just had to.
No, it's right out of the Breakfast Club, wasn't it?
Yeah. Robert says, "No noodling with canoodling Cindy."
Thank you.
Hey, look, we noodle here all the time. Oklahoma proud. Yeah, there you go. It's just watch out when you're doing it.
Yeah.
Listen, no.
Edna McLean says the Avon Inn is an awesome location to investigate. Can't wait to go back.
Yes.
Awesome.
We just had that. Well, when was it? When were we there? Was it for Parafest?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago. We went back and we brought after Parafest. We went down. So,
it was crazy.
Yeah. Now there's
when I got locked out of the room. It was just for Parafest, wasn't it? Or was it before that?
I think it was before that, but yeah, you got locked out. It's an amazing location. I mean, there's so much that's gone on there, but it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
But definitely, Jason, we'd love to have you come up for that sometime. That would be great.
And that thing that Jason has talked about, how there's changes that happen to the location, and that actually happened with the Avon Inn. Something was different or changed, and I literally could see everything around. And
well, you have to remember there was a fire. The top floor burnt. So there was a lot of things that changed. And when new people got it,
I didn't know that.
They wanted to get it. They wanted to get it more up to date so that the place didn't close for good. I mean, there was a lot of things. It's a historical place, So
wasn't there a fire in the 70s there?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I was living in Avon at that point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Top floor.
Myself. Yep.
Yep. Top floor. World's largest ghost hunt, Cindy. That's what it was. Edna was at. That's right. Yep. So.
Yes.
So I wanted to kind of bring you up to date, Jason, with that case that we did in Ithaca. I had spoken with David a few times afterwards, and he claimed that a few things were still going on.
Yeah, he did.
And
You
so,
gotta get back here.
yeah, well, he sent me a couple thumb drives of video that he had taken off his own DVR system, and he's given them to me. I've talked to him about a lot of things there. Kind of, he was so nervous and jumpy about stuff, and I understand.
Yeah.
So I tried to just make him, feel better about living there and being there. I told him that if he ever needed anything, he could call me, but it's been quite a few months, and I haven't heard back from him since then. So,
and that's the most important thing is first off, people need to understand that we're not going to a location with the premise that we can make these things leave.
Right.
First off, you can't scientifically even prove they're there. How can you make them leave? And
right.
So we never want to go with that idea in somebody's head. We're going to try to figure out what's going on and to try to empower the person with knowledge and how they can coexist or how they can ask these things to leave if some sort of an intelligent spirit. And so people need to understand that it's not us trying to, we're going to push this thing out. No, that's not what it's about.
Right.
It's about us documenting what they're claiming they're experiencing, so they have some backup on that, and also trying to give them knowledge of how they can get this activity to stop.
Right, and we've run into cases where other people or teams have gone in and said that they've done certain things, and then the activity's amped up. There's been problems afterwards, and then we just go in and we try to make them feel better about living there and giving them some ideas of what they could do. And we always give them the phone number and say, hey, if anything, if you need us, I don't care what time it is, call me, we'll do what we can for you. Oh, Barry Martz has got, do you see Barry Martz? He goes, that would be awesome if we could get Jason and company to the Winter Parafest.
Oh my God, I know it, right in Geneseo? Oh my gosh.
Jason's familiar with Geneseo. He's familiar with that place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That would be awesome.
My Jen Renalena Ding Dong, she says, is there a good app to use on phone to reach spirit?
No. No.
And please don't use that ghost radar. I mean, that's the tracking.
Yeah. That what was the laser that you were using in that one room where that manifestation happened?
Oh, we have the G2 laser, which actually picks up it can actually draw a diagram as well of anything that breaks its signal. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, our good friend Sean over at Ghost Stop makes a lot of stuff, and people can check that stuff out there.
Awesome. Yeah, I love it. She goes, I figured, LOL, about the epic.
Jamie Gamber says she liked the episode near Clear Springs, Maryland.
Okay. I'm not sure which one.
I'm not sure what that is either.
Sure which one it was either.
That might have been Dead Man's Curve. That might have been where people were killed driving around a corner real quick.
Oh my God.
Hey, Jason, while you were living here in Avon, I mean, you weren't doing investigating then, were you?
Dude, I was like 8.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought you were because there are so many places out here, like the Ambuscade right there in Groveland Station. There was what is it in Dansville? There's that hill that it's an optical illusion.
Yeah, and I checked that out. I checked that out for a show a long time ago. But and the whole put talc powder on the back of the car and hand because the oil from your hands from when you're closing the trunk.
Leave it there,
But we moved to Rhode Island when I was about around 9 or 10. We came to Rhode Island, and because my father used to actually work for Castle Industries and right outside of Rochester, and took a job with as an international computer programmer up here in Stanley Bostitch in Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Wow.
My sister just made a cool statement. She excuse me. We did an investigation at a local park here in Avon. They actually asked us if we would mind doing it because there was so many suicides that happened in that area, and they wanted to know what was going on. So we went.
It's not the little baseball park, is it?
No, it was Paper Mill Park, right on Paper Mill Falls Road. And we did, good 3 or 4 years there and stuff. And my sister actually caught an EVP of a gentleman that he didn't commit suicide there. he actually froze to death there. He
That's
worked
terrible.
he worked for the farmer there up on the hill and was walking home, but they had like a little party afterwards, so he was intoxicated, and him trying to walk home, he couldn't. He just tried to cover himself up in like a little cubby and froze to death.
Yeah,
And
our winters they were bad. I remember those as a kid growing up, and because I grew up right. It was actually back then it was Birdseye Manufacturing. There now I think it's Kraft.
Yep.
But I grew up in it was the low income housing that was right across the street, and it's
and I live right around the corner from there, right on Littleville. I live right there at the end of your street.
One of 6 kids in a poor family, and my parents did everything they could, but I loved that area. I really did.
Yeah,
it was such an incredible area.
It still is though, man. It really still is. And now with Kraft being there, they've now opened up some of the older buildings that were there and actually put other businesses in. In fact, we got one of the best ice cream shops anywhere in that building called Sprinkles. Believe it or not, they got fantastic ice cream.
Ice cream. I can't have ice cream, but I love it so much.
I know.
Since I've seen you, Jason, I have eliminated 28 pounds, and so you'll have to pass that on to Steve for me if you don't mind, because I talked to Steve about eliminating some weight and what he did, and he was going to help me and give me his thing, but he never did it, so I did it by myself.
Yeah, see, I've actually, the downtime from this whole virus thing, my sons, all 3 of them are state championship wrestlers. They're all football players, so I've been working out with them every day.
That's amazing.
Getting back and working out, so like I'm down 18 pounds. I've got like, they were measuring, they're like, yeah, Dad, you're down 18 pounds. You put on 5 pounds of muscle mass. And I'm like, oh, well, that's great. So they've been
that's awesome for you guys. That's really awesome. Really awesome. Really awesome. I keep lifting the spoon at Sprinkles with the ice cream. I can't help it.
That's a workout too, as long as you do it.
Yeah. That and my tattoos from Tony. I mean, I gotta have my tattoos. So, it's one of those things. So, I want to say that, your show, The Original Ghost Hunters, inspired a lot of people. And I want to say thank you for doing that. When I started, there wasn't any of that stuff.
Right.
And, the only shows that we watched, I think, are what everybody says in search of, except I bring up what most people didn't watch as Most Haunted. I used to love that show. I loved listening to the woman scream and the guy scream and all that stuff. So it was more entertainment for me, but it was still one of those shows that was fun. And but you guys, you really impressed me, and I really admire you guys and what you're doing. I really do.
Thank you.
There was not another paranormal show. Like, even Teddy knows this. Like, I am not one to watch all of these shows, blah blah blah. But listen, Ghost Hunters, that was my jam. Now Ghost Nation, listen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
There are things that I just have to watch, and that was that. That was that.
Oh, thank you so much.
I mean, there are other shows, but it's like for us, it's like, well, one for me, it's like, when you started out in the early 2000s with Ghost Hunters, it's like, it was the show. It was what everybody was watching. I remember people having pizza parties, and they were like, come on, let's get the pizza and the beer and let's sit down. And, it was a family affair. I mean, that's what they did.
Jason, you guys validated me at the Rochester Public Library. You guys came and did a show at the Rochester Public Library. And this is the thing, is I was a student for SUNY Brockport. I was an adult learner. I had 3 children. I was researching at the public library for school. And I'm literally watching a shadow person going back and forth, and I'm freaking out because I'm looking around like I'm losing my freaking mind right now. And I'm watching this thing watch me, and I'm watching this. I'm seeing this. I literally get one of the girls and I say, okay, I have to ask you, do you guys know if there's ghost activity here? Because I'm literally seeing stuff right now. She's like, oh no, I don't know anything about this. And I'm like, dude, I'm watching a shadow person. And then soon after I had this experience, you guys did the Rochester Public Library, and I'm like, damn it, I was right.
Cool place.
It was crazy. Yes.
I love Tom Nally, his comment here. I'll put it up here for all of us. It says Teddy is so old that he remembers radio shows from the Prohibition area.
Tom.
I'm only 54, you jerk.
Right. I think Teddy would be almost 100 if that were true.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I'm excited that things for you, Jason, are looking up getting back out there doing your investigations and stuff. We can't wait to see the new episodes.
Absolutely.
In fact, I've talked to those guys at Travel. They've contacted me a couple times about new cases. And because of the COVID thing, we even shut down. I mean, I found it hard to even look at some of these other teams that were out there still doing investigations in this time. It wasn't good. It wasn't good sense as far as I was concerned. But now that things are going to open back up, and we'll see. We turned away a good 15 cases since that show with you because of that.
Well, in the TAPS family, I mean, we receive nearly anywhere from 600 to 1,000 emails a day that come through the TAPS family groups, and I mean, so everything's on a hold right now. So people really don't want to take that chance.
I agree. I'm a notary public besides being a psychic medium, so I stopped even doing signings and all of that. I had to stop doing my work. I had to do it just from home.
Yeah, I had to cancel a bunch of appearances and everything else too.
Yeah.
Well, look, Cindy. Look what we've had to do. I've had to bring the whole radio show home. I've had to rebuild everything, just so that we could do our show. I mean, it is what it is. You have to do what you have to do.
The show must go on, my friend.
The show must go on. Linnell put up here, have enjoyed the show this evening. Thank you. Granddaughter wants to snuggle to go to sleep. What can you do? Babies first. Thank you, Jason, Teddy, Cindy. Until next time, good night, everyone. Well, thank you, Linnell. Thank you so much.
Yes, good night.
Oh, there's Daniel Class. Hello, Daniel Class. How are you, Danny? Oh, that damn light is making me mad.
Oh, it's just a ghost.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Well, I know Jason's got to get out of here. So, I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for hanging out with us here, buddy. It was great to see you again.
Oh, it's always great to talk to you both. And, we got to do this again some point.
Jason,
well,
we
would love it.
So much fun having you here.
Oh, you guys are awesome. And I love you all dearly. You guys are wonderful.
Yeah.
So,
I'm like, yay, we get to see Jason and hang out with him again.
Yeah. Well, we definitely would like to get together with you sometime, even if it's just lunch or something. Sometime when you're up in this area, give us a holler. We definitely come out and meet you. That's for sure.
Do. Well, you guys stay safe, and we'll talk again soon.
You too.
Okay.
Thanks everybody
too, Jason.
The kids and
all right.
Keep being a great dad that you are.
I do my best.
Yeah, and just tell the guys we said hi, would you please?
I will.
Yeah.
All right. You guys have a great night. Thanks, everybody.
You too, Jason.
Yeah,
thank you.
Mm-hmm. I just love him so much.
He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like this is what you guys just saw was really exactly how it was for interacting with him on set. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It really was.
He's just one of those guys, I mean,
down to earth.
Yeah. And we had a great week with him. I mean, that was fun. And Absolutely. Steve and Dave, I don't want to take anything against those. And the crew treated us like we were family. I mean, they fed us, oh, where'd you go, Cindy? She must have clicked her button. Oh my God. She's funny. She'll be coming back up. Well, thank you, Mary. Thank you. There she is.
I touch my keyboard. I touch my thing, and I disappear. I'm like, ah!
But yes, everybody, thank you for popping in here with us tonight for Jason. It was awesome.
Guys.
And
I didn't get to say hi to you and Kristen and Robert.
Yeah,
guys, and Mary.
Larry, thank you,
Ooh,
and
hey,
everybody.
Blair. I didn't see you there. Yay, Larry.
Yeah, yeah, it was a great show tonight. We
It
really
was.
appreciate you guys coming in with us tonight. Um, we we have had laugh my ass off. Cindy touched her thing. Laugh my ass off. It says Tom Nally.
Yes,
But
I touched my thing, and
but
all kinds of hell broke loose.
there you go. So guys, definitely once they get
I disappeared.
taping again, please watch their show. I mean,
Yes,
that's one of the only
absolutely.
reasons I watch their show is because it's for us it was so real, and those guys made you feel fantastic. They brought us in, they made us a part of the team, and it was amazing. Hey guys, didn't catch all the show, but what I saw was great. Well, thank you, Cliff. You can always come back and watch the beginning and stuff.
What happened?
Hello, Michelle, Chad, Penny Sue, Chris, most of you guys. Thank you, and Megan Deputy. Megan, Megan said earlier that she missed us, so it's kind of cool. We haven't seen her since she was on the show with us.
Hi, Megan. Yes.
Yep.
Wait, where is she? I don't see her in here.
Oh, she's on my watch party.
Dang it.
Lots of love, she says. Lots of love.
Lots of love, Megan.
I wonder what she's doing. We could bring her on for a minute if she wants to come on.
Oh my gosh, Megan.
Megan, do you want to come on?
Come and say hi.
Come and say hi.
Then we get actually see each other this time in this way.
Yeah. If she wants to pop on, we can do it. I haven't seen her in a while, so let me see if she says yes.
Oh, Cliff says, hey guys, didn't catch all the show, but what I saw was great. Thanks so much, Cliff.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. I was trying to remember who next week was. To tell these guys as well.
Wait, who's the grandpa? Isn't he Teddy? Says he's a grandpa too. Isn't he Teddy?
He might be. And Megan said...
Jason? Is she talking about Jason?
Could be. Could be.
Elmo, you may make a heartbeat.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Well, his daughter, Samantha is going to be 30, I think, this year. And she's just a year older than my daughter.
Yeah, so that could be.
So I think, am I older than Jason? I think I must be.
Might be.
Hi, I switched rooms.
Yeah, next week is going to be James Milligan and his buddy Jeff. So there's going to be, let me see if I can find Meg here.
Megan. Oh, yes, his oldest girl had a daughter. Oh, I didn't know that. Listen, I forbid my daughter to have a child until she was 30. She'll be 20. She'll be 29 this year, friends.
That's terrible, Cindy.
I said, listen, I'm way too young to be a grandma. And she was like, it's fine because I don't want any cats. And her husband doesn't either. Listen, she's married. And listen, I've never been married. My daughter's married. I had a child. I was pregnant at 19 and had a child by 20. My daughter's 29. I'm a happy mom. I did something right? Listen.
Megan, I sent you a link. I sent you a link, Megan, so all you gotta do is click the link and it'll bring you in.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. So if any of you guys missed Jason here, you can rewatch the episode as soon as it's done here, and you can go back into it.
Yeah, Chanel, see? Chanel's like, I'm 47 with a 9-year-old. See, that's right.
Thank you, Betty.
Good night, Betty. Thanks so much. She says, great show tonight with Jason. Good night, Ted and Cindy. Good night.
Okay, Meg. I don't know if she heard me.
Megan from Ghost Finders?
Yeah. Yep.
Uh-huh. Yes. Tom Nally. chopped liver. Who is chopped liver? You are?
He's thinking he's chopped liver.
I get to see you this time.
Yes, it has been. How have you guys been? Oh my gosh, long time no see.
Yes.
Mhm.
How about you? How are you doing? We're doing good.
Awesome.
See, now I'll be left out because it'll be just these two talking. Because we know how these two get when they get together.
It happens. It happens.
That's
But
right.
You know we love you, Ted.
That's
Mhm.
right, Betty.
Oh, Cindy. I'm sorry. I forgot to show you what Linnell sent me.
Ooh, yes. Let me see.
What is
That's
it?
smoking quartz or amethyst? No, it's
Oh
amethyst.
my gosh.
Or is it fluoride? What is it?
Uh-huh.
It's,
Uh-huh. Isn't that beautiful?
that is gorgeous. Chanel, that was one of Chanel's, right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, hang on.
That's so great. Now you see, look. Oh, here we go. Gonna just be showing up.
Here we go. The girls are going to be shoving their rocks in our faces now. Ah, look at you.
Beauty.
Listen, I just have a couple small ones.
I love it.
I do
We're like
too.
right by the hearth here, so it's like, oh, we're gonna whip out the beat song and all of the nerdy things.
There you go.
Yes. My dog
Oh,
is upstairs.
did you see behind Megan? I think I saw Godzilla.
Oh yeah,
I did.
We are huge nerds. Like,
Yes.
How
ridiculous.
fun!
Ah, and that's. Wait a minute, Meg. 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 You're Godzilla. That looks like a 1954 version.
I think
It is.
Yep.
It is.
And that's Alien next to her.
Oh yeah, no.
Next to him.
I'm not gonna turn this into a house tour. There's not enough time for that. But like, my husband and I are like
Oh.
huge nerds.
Yes.
Me too. Listen, I went to Comic-Con in San Diego 3 years in a row.
Oh yes.
I just love it.
We're
Yeah.
Dragon Con peeps. We haven't been to San Diego yet, but that's on the list.
Oh shit, girl. Listen, Dragon Con is on my list.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
So we're gonna have to swap conventions. That's
Yes. Emerald City is on mine too.
Well, we
Yeah.
gotta get Megan to Rochester Winter Parafest.
Rochester Winter Parafest. Woo!
most
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
look at this. Look at this ball.
Oh.
Blue Appetite.
Nice.
Too hot. Too
I
hot.
know. Okay, and then I'll just pull a couple out.
Oh, I love it. Oh
The
man.
Well, I
Teddy's got the big one. I got the little one.
I do have to say to Chanel that she sent a necklace with the package that I received for her from my mom, and I gave it to her, and she has not taken it off.
Oh, what did she? What kind of necklace was it?
It was the purple. Oh God, what is it? Amethyst.
Perfect.
So, yeah, I think it was amethyst. It's all bumpy and it's got all the little crystals coming off, and it's purple. So I'm thinking that's what it is. It's,
It might be. I don't
Yeah.
know. There's just a few that are purple. I'm just saying.
yeah. Well, all I know, it could be an agate for all I know. All I know is she's been trying to get me to open this one because this is.
Oh.
She wants me to open this, and
Your
it's like,
mom does?
no, Chanel
Oh,
does.
Chanel. Yes. Listen, I would.
I'm like,
I wanna
nope.
know what's in it too. It's a geode.
No. Yep, I'm not opening
It's a
it.
big geode too.
Yeah, I'm not opening it. Nope. Mm-mm. Nope.
Cuddles. You can feel it from the inside.
That's
Uh,
right, that's right.
Yes, xenomorphs are one of my favorite, Eric. Yes, they are. They're awesome. I love all the Alien series. The Predator is actually my favorite, but the xenomorphs are awesome. Could you imagine if they were real though? We would be screwed.
Oh my god.
Guys, all the time. I'm like,
Wait, isn't that coronavirus? A xenomorph?
Chanel says it was purple amethyst.
There you go. Perfect. So you were
Yeah.
right, Betty Boo Boo.
Yep, she loves it. She put it on. She hasn't taken it off. So, yep,
Oh my
it's
god.
I love it.
I'm
So
so happy that we get to see you this time and talk to you.
oh my goodness. It's
was just
I
like
know.
phone the last time.
FaceTiming, because, you know, I'm sure you guys feel the same. Like, just even seeing people and hearing voices, it's like the virtual spirit hugs that we're all.
Exactly. So you guys haven't been taping, obviously, for obvious reasons. So when do you guys go back into production?
We're gearing up to here shortly, in the next couple of weeks, but still being like really safe about it. But what's awesome is we had a lot of footage that was wrapped that we were like in the editing stage during this time. So
Good.
we've been doing a lot of that, a lot of podcasts, and just like being there for fans and doing what we can. So we have some stuff brewing that I'm excited about, but our big season, like 10 kickoff, we actually would be filming all of that. We had it booked for this month, so we had to postpone everything we had planned. But that's okay.
That's right. That's right.
You know, something else is brewing, and that's not going away. That's just for another time.
Right. Good.
Well,
Yeah, so
Kristen Holmes is like, welcome to Girl Talk.
Right. Well, so you guys didn't get sick with COVID or anything like that, did you?
No.
Good.
Some friends of ours, their family up in New York did. But here we've been pretty safe. And then being a makeup artist in the film industry too, like I actually have done a lot of that because like bigger productions, as you know, I'm sure, like that is all been changing. So we've been gearing up slowly to get back into filming now, but a lot of our friends and family have stayed safe and
good.
Do what we can.
Well, Jason was just saying that they're finally getting their shit together to get back out to film. I mean, it's hurt every industry out there. I mean, look at John, Invisible John for us. I mean, he's been struggling so hard.
Yeah.
You know, so it's been he runs all that audio for bands and stuff.
Everything.
And we've had
concerts in Rochester area and Buffalo
and then not even counting the tours that go over to the UK and stuff. He hasn't been able to do any of that either, so he's lost a lot of money on it. You know, so but well, I'm glad you didn't have anything to do and we brought you on because this is awesome. We're like, oh, what are we going to do for the next, I don't know, half hour?
Listen, wait a second. Megan, I did tell him, I'm like, whoa, do you want me to do readings? I can do tarot. I can do spirit readings, whatever. I said, they'll be fun. They'll have a great time in the chat if we want to do that. And Teddy's like, well, or we can just talk or something. I'm like, yeah, and whatever you want. And then it was like, well, let's see if Megan can come on. I'm like, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Robert White.
I was gonna, I have somebody on FaceTiming here later. And then my husband's upstairs sorting comics. But yeah, girl, if you want to whip out some witchcraft and do whatevs, so let me know. I am down to talk about anything with you guys for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. I just want to put in here. Robert White says, makes me wonder if ghosts have been missing the investigators.
They have. Of course they have.
What's actually really cool here, all right, get ready for Cloverfield, guys. I'm taking you in to like a little house tour, I guess.
I love Cloverfield.
We've had a few podcasts and actually in this room. So let's see, we got a lot of fun witchcraft stuff in here.
Oh, shit. I gotta take my glasses off for this.
Yes. Well, here, let me see. I'll go like this. I'll let you see all of the things. But we've had some cool EVPs happen. This is fake, by the way. We've had some super cool EVPs happen during podcasts and FaceTimes even.
Wow.
There's been one girl, we've named her lovingly Emily. So you say, have they been missing the investigators? We run our little home like a bed and breakfast for spirits who are like nice and our ancestrals and just friends. But she's been caught giggling, saying stuff, and even answered back on the Curse podcast. which is
What?
Wow.
It's amazing.
yeah. So it's
That's
like,
so amazing.
to this
Danny Class was in here somewhere. I thought I saw his name in here
Yes.
somewhere.
Yeah, he was. He might have left though.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm putting my hood back on. I'm just like a little troll person with the cat. So here, look, this is more on point.
I love it. I love it. Fantastic.
Yes. But I don't know. What have you missed talking about? Or what do you miss investigation?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I just miss being out there because it's been, I have the opportunity. I have so many things around me here that I have permission through the town to go and do like all of the cemeteries and
we need to do
all
those
this stuff here.
cemeteries.
And I really, Megan, and I should invite you because I've invited Cindy because the time is almost near. I have 10.5 acres full of herbs that I've been growing for 10.5 years. There's a whole bunch of stuff here that I don't know. We should just make a day, and you guys should come up and pick some herbs and stuff. We have a lot of stuff growing, so.
Oh, I would love that.
I'm so happy. My catnip. I finally found a big bush of catnip. Finally, I don't know if you guys realize this, but catnip is hard to find these days.
Really?
And it's very hard to find.
Oh,
And
I didn't know that.
I transplanted one, and it actually branched off, and it was beautiful for all last summer. And then it died off and it never came back. And I'm like, well, wait a minute.
No.
That's a little weird. But then, like 2 feet away from it, I found a whole nother plant that grew. So I have a couple now of the catnip, which is great for tea. It's great for all of that stuff. And my spearmint finally came back. I was worried about that. And there's just so many things that I have here.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. You know what
Yeah.
I wish I had in my backyard that I could grow a ton of is actually mugwort. I go
Really?
crazy. Yes.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny about that is I was up to the studio, Cindy. When we were up there the last time, I found colt's foot in their driveway. I'm like,
That's crazy.
wow! It's like normally you see that on the side of the road. You see that in the trenches on the side of the road, and I haven't seen any. But I get to John's, and here it is growing in the driveway. I'm like, oh, believe me, I'm coming back with a shovel, and that'll be gone.
Can't put that to waste. Okay.
That's right. That's right. I love my herbs. I don't care what anybody says. I
You're
grow
so
all
good with
different
them,
things.
Too. Like when we went down to Ithaca to do the show, we were in Tamai, who was she was one of the like I think she was one of the they have like production and then they have like I don't remember how they do it.
Yeah.
Tamai was amazing.
Very
But
cool.
she knew she was in charge of one thing of
The crew.
all of
The crew.
Yeah,
The
she
crew.
was in charge of all of the crew and scheduling and everything like that. And she was amazing. And then we'd go outside and Tomaya's like, this is this herb and this is this herb. And we're like, what? And Teddy's like, oh, I thought it was this herb. And they were sitting there talking herbs. And I'm like, you guys are amazing.
Yeah.
It just was absolute. It was just like, oh, I'm with my people.
Yeah. I mean, there's a ton of stuff. I mean, I've got lamb's ear growing crazy out back. I have colt's foot. I have shepherd's purse. I have mother's wort. I have a lot of stuff back here. So, trust me.
God. Tom, he's like, herbs? Said in Tommy Chong voice.
Accurate.
Hi, Mommy. Our mommy's on here. Mom, I'm so proud of you that you got on here.
Where?
Melody Scott. Hi, y'all.
Oh.
Me too. Mint leaves. Mom has a
Yeah.
lot of it.
Yeah. I
No,
have
it's frightened.
6. I have 6 or 7 rhubarb plants too.
I'm not a big rhubarb kind of
Oh,
girl.
I love rhubarb. But I've like I said, I've got a lot of different herbs here. I have 2 different versions of plantain, which is good for your skin and everything else. I have a whole bunch of different stuff here. So, oh yeah, everybody goes, "Why do you keep that? That's a weed." I'm like, "Oh, don't you touch that? I'll beat your ass." Oh,
It's so funny because so many people think like everything's a weed. Like, they get rid of their dandelions. I'm like, you can eat those. Eat the leaves, dude.
The purple coneflower. The purple coneflower. I mean, there's just so many things. They're like, oh, it's a garbage weed. I'm like,
No.
that is not a garbage weed.
Oh my gosh, that
so
will make you better when you're
oh yeah, wood sorrel. When I used to hike when I was younger, wood sorrel was great because you could put that in, like, if you don't have gum or anything like that. Wood sorrel is good to give your mouth a different flavor and stuff, and it's not bad for you at all.
Didn't you find some down in Ithaca and you put it in your mouth?
Yeah. Wood sorrel is great for you. It's just one of those things that gives you a different flavor. I mean, I love being able to find stuff like that. I mean, there's not a lot of people that are in witchcraft or in the paganism that can go out and do that. When you have that gift, you got to use it,
Yes.
So
I want to be more gifted in that area because I'm not as good
I'm
in
not
it.
the greenest thumb either. I think you could catch witch me any day, Ted. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm really.
I just love it.
My friend Frankie, he has card at the crossroads on Instagram, and he's making all of these slavs, and he has some mandrake that he's working on, some traditional stuff and like flying ointments, and I'm like, yes, Frankie, do the thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
The bad part about the original flying ointment, though.
Oh yeah, we know.
We know? Okay. All right. Do you know this, Cindy? The original flying ointment was actually made with baby fat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The OG.
What?
Yeah.
The fatter the fat, the better the stuff. But there's new ways to do it now, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
yeah.
How did they get this baby fat?
How do you think?
Yeah.
Not liposuction needles, obviously, right?
No.
We know talk about this.
No.
Megan, you don't have children, right?
Yeah. That's the Hollywood satanic panic side of things.
Yeah.
Brody.
Yeah. Robert's like, Robert's like, how far does flying ointment let you fly?
I don't think I want
the dosage, and watch it just be like updated to like car apps or something. Now it's just like in your car.
There you go.
Miles per hour.
Well, it's funny that if you go back to some of these old, like you can go into some of the ancient pagan rituals, and the stuff that they I don't even know how they came up with some of this stuff, but you look at it and you go, oh hell no. I still carry, what do I have here? I still have I have my dragon's blood here somewhere, and dragon's blood or dragon breath is one of the other ones. There's scorpion tongue, which is not tongue, it's actually the tail. It's the juices from the tail, which you do not want to screw with, because if you don't know what you're doing, you can screw yourself up pretty bad. But there's a lot of things. I mean, I know, guys.
Medicines. Do your homework.
Yeah.
Stuff, like put your research in. Yeah, I love dragon's blood resin with like incense and oils.
Yes.
So protective. One of my mother witches from when I was super young, she would always put a little bit of dragon's blood on my wrist, like whenever we would go out, and like she sent us little baby bats into the world like before school. I was like, okay, be safe. Here's some dragon's blood on your wrist. Like,
that's beautiful.
Yeah. Ours was always lemongrass. We always had lemongrass oil. We always had that stuff laying around. But it smells so good. You're like, so. And it's
mixed with all of the ancient things,
Oh yeah, but it's amazing how much of it I still use, though. I find myself all the time making ointments. Like I have a salve that's really good for people like that have jewelry. They leave like bumps on your fingers and stuff because some people are allergic to.
Oh, allergic, right?
So I have ointments, and it's actually the main ingredient is plantain. and you can use that and mule's tail or cleaver, and you put those in together and you boil them down into your salve, your plain salves,
Wow.
and it's fantastic for all that stuff. I made almost a 1 pound jar of it, and we had it for probably 5 or 6 years.
That's
and
amazing.
I now have to make some more, but it works well,
Good.
So your old poultice, I can't say the word poultices that you make.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of stuff you can do.
Listen, there's a lot to be said for all of the what do they call them? The old wives' tales kind of things, and my grandma used to make this. There's a lot to be said for that, because there's a lot of knowledge usually passed on, and shamans and witches now use these things.
Well, think about like when you were a kid. I don't know if you guys did, but I know that when we were a kid, whenever you got stung by a bee, they always mix water and mud together and put it on your
That's
arm.
all I ever did when I was younger.
And that is such an old remedy. It's so old, but it doesn't work just for that. It works for a lot of things. Stingy nettles. If you get into stingy nettles, use fresh mud. You put that up top, use the mud where the stingy nettles was, and it actually draws out that little bit of venom from the stingy nettles, and it will work. It takes a little time, but it still works. Skunkweed. If you dig up skunkweed, at the bottom of the skunkweed where all the leaves come together, there's a bulb there. And if you take that bulb and you cut it off, you can actually rub it. I know it stinks like skunkweed. It stinks. But if you rub that on bee stings, on a rash, or anything like that, it's awesome for it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, and baking soda does the same thing, but I still prefer mud.
Tenderizer too for bee stings.
Yeah.
Oh man, now all I want to do is play music and podcasts, and just like, you know how like the Christmas montage happens while people are baking cookies in the kitchen? Can we just like do all of the fun herb stuff in the kitchen together while listening to some podcasts?
Kitchen magic.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Now, you know, Megan, you would love. I'm going to plug it. I'm going over to Ireland next summer. We're going on the summer solstice.
Yeah.
Oh, so jealous, but so happy for you.
Yeah. We're going to be involved in a summer solstice over there. So I mean, I can't wait to.
They scheduled it a little too early for me because my boys are still in school that week, and I'm like, oh, just a few days.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but, if you find that you want to get away, I know somebody's going to Ireland and it's really cheap.
Actually, my husband and I, we were supposed to go this year just to like visit. That's been on the books for us for a hot minute. And then friends of ours too. Because, you can get like 4 tickets as a package deal for awesome, even before all of this went down. That I will put that in my pocket, Ted. And
I will send you the info.
Yeah,
so,
I'm
can't wait.
A little jealous, to be honest. I wish it was just a couple days later so I would be able to make it.
Well, I know that the following year, I want to make sure it's something that Cindy can go. We're going to Scotland the following year, so I really want Cindy to go with me to that one. And then we're going to Dracula's Castle the year after that. So
I want to do Dracula's Castle too.
I'm proud because you guys are living life right. That just makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, we're trying.
How many friends do you have that want to do shit like go see Dracula's Castle?
Thankfully, a lot of them, and I feel like I have chosen the best people to keep in my
life. That's right. That is absolutely the truth right there.
If ever you guys want to have a really cool ritual night and have some fun, I have a 6x6 pit. We have a great location for ritual magic. We have It's so many things. I
Wow.
mean, that you can do out here, and it's in the middle of 10.5 acres. So,
Oh, that's
if ever you want to do something, you let me know.
Excuse me,
So,
I'm sorry.
there's a couple of rights that I have like on deck that we were planning out in the Appalachian Mountains. And I think I told you guys, like, I come from Virginia, up in the Blue Ridge Mountains there.
Yes.
So yeah, but hey, that would be awesome.
mm-hmm.
Yes, it would.
I'll bring
Yes,
them
it
up
would.
north.
There you go. There you go. I have two cloaks, as I call them, sitting in the closet that I have not worn in probably 3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they're
gotta
sitting
give
in
them
there.
up.
I know.
Mhm.
Elizabeth maybe says she's going to try and go to the Ireland trip. I think that would be great.
Oh, that would
But
be so
yeah,
much fun. Oh my gosh, you guys just should try and go.
yeah. And the nice thing about it, now that I'm talking about it, is they have payment plans. So you have a whole year to pay for the whole trip. So
Yeah.
their installment, you pay. I think she said there was a down payment of like $250, and then after that, you just pay it off monthly, and then
That's
it's
amazing.
great. Yeah, it's really great. So I can't wait. But
That's
so what's going on with you? So what's been happening, Meg?
Ooh, do you want real world stuff or witchy stuff? Like,
Oh.
Both.
real world stuff, really good. My husband and I have been there for a lot of our family and friends.
Oh,
We've
good.
been taking care of all of the theaters in the area. Because my husband, he runs a theater. That's his day job. And
Oh,
then
wow.
witchy wise, like the village, our community, I'm so proud of us because we've been there for each other and like dropping off food, doing stuff for charity, and
That's
now we've
amazing.
been really present in the community, just being there for Black Lives Matter, sending our love for that, and just
Yeah.
spreading love. No violence, no hate, no like none of that. Just
That's
doing our
awesome.
thing. And the dream work right now, Cindy, how's your dream work been? Because it's
Dude,
unreal. I had a
unreal.
morning recently where I woke up and I had spent about what felt a month of our time over across like the veil and the dreamscape. So I had to like readjust because one day here felt like 5 hours, and it's just been real intense. So
It's been crazy.
And she
It's been
knows that I'm
so
going
crazy.
through a lot. I've been going through a lot here. Not just taking care of my parents, but I think
Yeah.
that Cindy and I were talking about. I think I've got something going on with the
ETs.
ETs, outer world stuff going on over here.
yeah, wow, yeah.
So, who knows? I mean, I'm still going through everything here. Parents are seeing shadows all the time. We've got one that we know here. But there's just a lot of things, and I took the room next door and I turned it into basically like a studio where all this is going. And ever since I've done that, it's been peaceful, though. It's been really peaceful,
Nice.
But
That's good.
so
Very cool.
yeah, I think it's been awesome.
I
So
think too, a lot of us witches have been saying just the volume has been turned up by so many different accounts. The earth, everyone's emotions, all of
God.
the like. I mean,
the anxiety.
yeah, and the stars and stuff too. It's all just like slowly like coming in alignment, and all of these things are happening. So the messages have been louder than usual. And
Oh my
much
gosh, yeah.
clear and on top of each other is the best way I could put it.
Yeah. It's
But
hard because sometimes when I get messages for myself, which as witches, as being, having gifts and stuff, we don't always get messages. It's a lot of times just a feeling of what's coming, right?
Right.
A hint.
Yeah.
It has been more like, boom, did you get that? Are you listening?
Right.
have you guys?
Are you smacking me over the head yet again?
I'm gonna ask you too. If, like the past few days, you guys been getting a lot of deja vu?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, because I've been getting a lot.
Mine isn't necessarily deja vu. Even for the last, so March was probably the last time I actually felt the Mandela effect. Like, I know that my friend and I discussed something, and he literally said, "No, I've never told you that." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "That's not right." And I know he wasn't just fucking with me or anything like that. And then a couple weeks later, it was like the beginning of April, because it was right near my birthday, 2 days before my birthday. And I said something else, and he's like, "No." He's like, "What are you talking about?" It was literally two different things. I'm like, "Yep, that's it." Because after it happened the first time, I literally went to my girlfriend who's in Arizona, my bestie. And I'm like, "Listen, I think something shifted, because I think there's been a Mandela effect." She's like, "I think you're actually right," because she and I had been talking about it the last time we talked about it. And she's like, "Maybe something shifted." And then that happened. And I'm like, "Okay, I really think that happened." And then just 2 weeks later, and he just reaffirmed the same thing. Like, holy shit. I went back to her as soon as that happened the second time. I'm like, "Listen, there definitely has been a shift." I'm like, "It's crazy that I'm remembering the original, though." And she's like, "The only thing is, Cindy, is it's probably because your gifts. That's probably the only reason you're remembering these things."
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that like normal pathway stuff. Everything else is like, it's like asteroids or sparks, like fireworks. Things are kind of like things that we haven't seen or felt in a while. They're there. There's things that are like moving around that just doesn't like. It's like, that's never been there before. I've never felt that before. I've never sensed that before. So there's so many things that are different. It's like, and it's not just us, because if you go out and back to the plants, but you go out to the not just the animals, but the plants are telling you that too, because something that normally would grow 3 or 4 feet is only a foot tall, and there's things like that. It's like, you watch the squirrels; they're acting so much stranger than what they usually did. And there's just a lot of things that are being played with in the environment,
So this is the thing, Teddy. There's been a lot of things. We as a collective have been fast forwarded. We have been learning so much, doing so much in such a short amount of time. I mean, just COVID time. I mean, we're learning a lot, and we're raising our vibrations. So number one, the animals aren't used to that. They're not used to our vibrations being higher. They're not used to us like being more thoughtful, thinking internally, and thinking about our self-care rather than go, go, go. But now, because of this COVID, and we're being fast forwarded, there's so many things being fast forwarded. So not only with the deja vu, but the fast forwarding is a huge thing right now.
Yeah, there's a lot that's changed. I mean, the feeling with certain things, it's just, we were discussing this before, because I'm more of an empath than anything. I get people's feelings more than all of that, and it's like, I go into certain places and I'm like, wow, I've never noticed this before, and there's things that I haven't experienced, and it's weird. It's like, we just had the full moon, 2 nights ago?
Friday.
Yeah, Friday. And it's like, I'm standing outside, I'm having a bonfire, I'm out there, I'm just feeling nature the way I always used to when I was out there. And it was so beautiful, and the fresh air, and it made me feel like, okay, things are going to come back to where they're supposed to be. It's just going to take a little time, but you have to breathe. You have to remember to slow down. You have to remember to intake everything around you, and it was it was awesome. I love it. So
I did a live on Friday night. I did a live tarot reading for Friday night, and it was over 3.5 hours, I think, right around there. And it was crazy. I literally had Venus, Isis, and Kali here.
Woo, girl.
And I I had archangels. I was like, holy shit balls. The energy that was around me was intense. Intense. And then I go outside to do my little, my witchy stuff, and I literally was just bawling with gratitude. It was just amazing,
I tell people all the time, take your shoes off, go
That's
outside,
exactly what I did. My
get
neighbor
in the
was
dirt.
stark raving lunatic because I'm literally arms up in the front yard as he came outside while I was outside, and I'm here raised arms up to the sky.
I know.
We're very lucky. My neighbors, they know. And then we go all out for Samhain and Halloween. Like all of the neighborhood kids are like, the spooky house. And we'll do costume changes. We even have, like, when we open up our door, it's like Winnie, we have the green light and the smoke and everything.
Love it.
So they're like, oh, it's those people. Because we actually have orange lights for the backyard too. So that way, like, when we're doing ritual, we can still have our fire pit and all that, but we're still, like, we're in our little close, and we have a fence, thank goodness. But I really am totally, Ted, just land. I miss the woods. I miss land.
Well, you're welcome anytime. You're welcome anytime.
That would be great. My favorite escape, there's a graveyard that a lot of us witches go to and kind of look after as well. It's like our place. So the full moon, we were out there, and there's some like trees that kind of like, give us a little cuddle and solace. But it's so beautiful, especially with the clouds just like going over it. But it's a lot of, I feel like, sometimes before all of this, you can just be like, okay, this is ritual mode. Let's go see through the veil. Or this is dream work mode. But COVID's been like this. You've just been like, whoa, this is straight up Alice in Wonderland right now. The veil is doing this. Like, it's been one foot in and the other. And it's a lot more energy to, like, I don't know how it balanced both of them. But it's been worth it because of all of the interactions and the messages and the feelings we've needed to feel.
Well, the amount of energy that's out there because of everybody being stuck inside, like I said earlier, I mean, most people don't realize that the energy that they have that they're putting off, especially with anxiety and depression and anger and hate, especially with everything that's been going on, it's all out there in the air. It's all out there in the universe floating around.
And you have the fear from COVID too.
Yeah, so it's like you're feeling all of that, and there's just so much energy there. So that if you can take, like I did with the full moon the other night, and it's like you just take some of that and you kind of manifest it into something different. You take your area and you just and you kind of like put out your shield, and it's kind of like filtering, I guess is the best way to put it. And you do what you can with it, and I love it because it changes just your area so much that like it's like a bubble. You get in there and it's peaceful, it's beautiful. Even the animals react different. It's I that's why I love that spot up there, Cindy. That's why I want you to come out some night, because you will fall in love with my spot. In fact, I'm working on, we had some down trees. I actually had there's one that's got a very big base that I'm going to sand and smooth, and I'm actually going to put our symbolisms on it, and I'm going to shellac the whole thing, so we'll have an outside altar, and it'll be right there so that we can use it at any time. So that'll be awesome.
You make the world a better place by just being you and being beautiful and saying these things.
But you have to. But there's you. I think what happens is that even with the new witches today, and I'm going to say Wiccans as well, because there's so many things that they've lost that they don't understand, and if you don't have somebody to give you the advice or guide you or show you, because a lot of these people are kitchen witches. Some of them are just, in their home, and they're just doing stuff that they really don't know. But if we can get them outside and get them to an outside altar, to a place where there's living creatures and the
Oh God.
energy and I mean, can you imagine? I mean, I would love at some point, yeah, I would love to take this place, Cindy, and make it a place for us to do hand fastings. I would love to get it
Oh,
decorated to make it a perfect place for that because it's gorgeous.
that's
It's
beautiful,
gorgeous.
Teddy.
You know,
Yeah.
I just need help doing it. So, but it'd be a
Yeah.
perfect spot.
Did I tell you our dream for the village one of these days is to actually like it would be amazing. So imagine like an abandoned campground with like tons of different cabins, wood,
Wow.
and like just places where everybody from around the world for different festivals can gather, have different classes, ironwork happening, and then just like we could celebrate Midsummer, Samhain, and just like at a huge communal place.
Yeah.
And then just come and go, just like a summer camp. That would
Yeah. That would be gorgeous.
Amazing.
But we all have to do our own part, and that's why I love what I have here. I invite people all the time because I like the energy. Once you get the right energy in there and it mixes, then you have a place that when you come from the outside in, you feel the change, you feel the energy, you're amped up, you're ready to go, and that's what I want. I want a place that once you step across that invisible line, this is your home. This is where you belong. So I've always done that.
That's what I want. I want a place where I can feel this is where you belong.
Yeah. Elizabeth Maybe was saying I've had so many people tell me they've been experiencing deja vu.
No, you gotta go up a little bit more. This is hysterical.
How far up?
Barry Martz had said Vlad Dracula's castle would be awesome to see. Vlad the Impaler. And Robert White says, if Dracula were a car, he'd be Vlad the Impala.
I love it.
Fantastic?
Every time I see an Impala cruising down the road, I'll be thinking that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hello, Kenny.
Hi, Kenny.
Yes, join the circle.
Yes.
Exactly. I've had so many witches up there at times, and they have come and gone, and I've told people 100 times, you don't have to be a witch to enjoy this.
Hi, Christina.
You can come up and enjoy what we do. I mean, they're the simplest rituals, and what a lot of people don't understand. It's not always about the dancing and all these. A lot of that is just to bring in more energy. It's kind of like watching a show. You know what I mean? And a lot of that brings forth something for you to see as well as to experience. But the simplest things in magic work just as well. And this is something that I was taught many, many moons ago. I'm going to say it that way. But the simplest thing, it's like the wishing well. People don't realize that the wishing well started as a pagan thing. And basically they would just write what they were, wishing for, or their cares or their love, and they would just write it on whatever they had and dump it down a well. That's all they did. And then that's how it came about, That's the same thing as, you get yourself your little bowl and you write something on the paper, you light it on fire, you throw it in there, you think where you want it to go, and you direct it. Okay, so there's a lot of things that can be shown and used by everybody. It doesn't have to be just witches.
That's exactly what I just shared on one of my things, because on one of my tarot shows, because one of them is it literally says, oh gosh, I can't remember what they call it, but I literally told them, I broke it down like a letting go ceremony. And so we talked about letting go of things or manifesting, and really that way. Like it could have been the fire ceremony one, even.
Yeah. But the simplest things, candles. Get yourself a candle.
Yes.
Get yourself a little pin. Write what you want on the candle. Burn the candle.
There's just
so.
Birthday, guys. Like,
yes. Yes, and I'm gonna now see. I was raised, and I'm gonna throw this out there because I don't know how many people realize this, that when you have a birthday cake and you have all your candles on it and you blow it out, you're actually blowing away your wishes. You shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
You snuff them out. You don't blow them out. Okay, just use your finger, snuff them out, and that way you're keeping your dreams there.
I don't necessarily subscribe to that. I know that.
Oh, I know, but
I'm just like, listen, my shit's gonna
history.
get out there. They're gonna know it, whether I do nothing or I.
Cindy, you have those rechargeable batteries that are on full all the time. So for you, yeah, I mean, you've got that energy. But for some of us that don't have that energy all the time, you know, we sit back and we think of other things. You know, it's the way it is. I mean, some of the most ancient arts when it comes to magic was food, and most people didn't know that. You inscribed on your food and then you ate it. You know, and there was a part of taking that in so that would manifest. Most people don't know that. I mean, there's just so much out there.
Yes.
I'm old school. I'm real old school.
My old school tip was dressing the candle. You inscribe it and then you dress it with an oil. Come on now.
Yep.
Come on now.
Yep.
Come on
Yep.
now.
Oh man,
Yeah.
you guys, no, there's so many different things, and I tell people too, it's like what you were saying exactly. It's focusing your intent. So different ritual to help pump you up. Like you are your biggest cheerleader.
That's right.
Grabbing that thread of what's out there and focusing that intent to like put it out. So like your dance magic is like, you're your biggest cheerleader, and you're also amping up those vibrations to
Hey, and I'm gonna
anybody.
and there's the sex magic works.
Get it? Hey, how was your cocaine, everybody?
Yeah. I love this. Robert's like, except if you're 100 when you need an extinguisher or burn cream for your fingers. Yes, Elizabeth. Writing on leaves and then putting them up for the wind or the breeze to take the leaves. Yes, that's definitely. You can do that for love with petals from flowers. You can do that with so many different things. I mean, you just have to remember. You just have to remember free will, guys. There's free will, you know. So you just have to remember that.
Christy, we were just talking about Christy's old house.
I love what she just put.
Right. Patty, you
I need.
remember Christy, right? Christy's who we went to see in Palmyra.
Yeah, I need some sex magic over here.
Yeah. We just talked about your location, Christy, today.
There you go.
Well,
Yes, we did.
Palmyra.
You know, put something under your pillow. Put something in your pillow. Sleep on it. That's what I was always told as a kid. Put it under your pillow, or put it inside the pillow where you put your pillowcase. Throw it in there. Something that you want to happen, something you need to happen. You just put it, you sleep on it, you dream about it, you put it forth out there in the universe, you know.
The veil has been hopping, so maybe
oh yeah.
That sex magic over across the veil, baby.
Listen.
You just gotta be careful. Yes, it's open. Yes, there's a lot, but be careful what you're wishing for.
Yeah, you don't want to just sex with anybody in the 5D. Listen, I only want sex with a certain particular.
She's like what? Tell me more. Like what? What a sex toy?
Like, does he have a car?
Hey. The thing is that you don't need a partner for sex magic. You can do it yourself.
That's what she said. She said, a sex toy? Girl, yes. Go get you some.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Ontario Video and News is not too far away.
Dude,
Adam
shower
and Eve.
magic mixed with sex magic? Yeah, shower sex magic.
Yes. Listen.
Yep.
Listen, I can't tell you how many gods I've had sex with.
Oh man!
What did you just say, Jack? Did my son just call me a whore?
I love like there's so many things that people could be doing for themselves with just the basic magic, like the moon, just using the moon, the energy itself just to charge you. There are some simple things that I could teach everybody in a matter of minutes that would change everything. The shift of energy from cold to heat to being in a place to where you don't want to be, and kind of changing that by just your own body. There's so many things that you can do.
And when people are like, come on now, it's like, well, all right, let's science this for a bit, because there's some monks that can actually sit out in a blizzard and with their mind adjust their body temperature to survive in freezing temperatures. And again, that just shows like when you tap into that
Exactly.
and can understand those forces, flex those mental muscles, and know that magic.
Yes.
Yep.
My son, my youngest, Jet, is annoying me really. And it's just that I need to be better and teach them more, because he said he's an atheist. I'm like, okay, Jet. So I said, well, you know what? An atheist can still be use magic. I said, so, and it has nothing to do with woo-woo. It's all science as well.
Do you guys want to hear a real interesting, sweet little story about something?
Yes.
When I was young, yes, there was a period, there was a time when Teddy was young. When Teddy was studying, he had been studying for many, many years. There was a point in his life where he wasn't sure what he was doing was right, meaning he wasn't sure he was on the right path when he was young. And so he really needed some validation, I guess is the best way to put it. And at that time I had some witches that and there are these, and there are female witches that have their own covens where they don't believe that men should be involved. That does happen.
That's true.
They are those. And yes, there is. And Rochester had one of the biggest ones here for years. And so they were making me feel like that I didn't belong. So and I went back to my own ancestors and relatives and said, hey, what am I doing wrong? Blah, blah, blah. And they always just told me, do what you do and don't pay attention to them.
Yeah.
So I didn't listen. So Teddy was like, nope, I need validation. So I put out my own spell and said, or my own wish, I should say. It's like I wish for validation that what I'm doing is correct. What I believe, where I'm headed is correct for me. Yeah. I was driving. I just did it like an hour prior. I was driving. I stopped at a local place to get a drink. Actually, it was a milkshake. I walked into the building, and no shit, guys. And you guys will get this. Some of these other people won't. When I walked in, there was a candy jar on the counter. And on the side of the candy jar, it said, Pan Candy.
He was like, I see you. I see
It
you.
said Pan Candy.
Pan, the god Pan.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy, dude.
Tell me that is not validation.
My God, of course it is.
I say, hello.
Yeah, see?
Yes.
See?
They are in the ways when you need them. And that's
I
agree.
We're going on a journey, guys, because I'm at 5%, so I'm getting my phone charger to plug in. No, we're good.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say that for all of you that may be sitting there wondering if you're doing the right thing, don't second guess yourself. It took me to go through this to realize that I didn't need to second guess myself, because the gods were right there. They were telling me you were fine. And I didn't have to look hard at all. It's not like I looked into this. It was right in my face.
Yeah.
You know?
I have to say something. So last full moon, not this past one that we just had on Friday, a month ago, I was with my cousin, and I had this goddess energy I had this goddess energy and I didn't know it. It just was energy. I knew it was a goddess, but I never like worked with this type of goddess energy because it was light and romantic and frilly feeling and just so sweet and loving like that. And I can't explain it. Soft. That's a good way to put it. Soft. And I tell my cousin, I said, this is so weird. I said, the only thing I can think of is like, this is like Venus energy or Aphrodite or one of those love goddesses,
Right.
or something, because I had no idea. I literally had, I work with Kali, Hecate, and Isis. These are my main goddesses, right? Pele, a fire goddess. Right? These are big, heavy hitters. I've never had like this light, beautiful energy, right? And I'm like, I said, I don't know who it is really. And I tell my girlfriend, she's like, you know what? I think you're probably right. I think it might be Venus. I'm like, you think it might actually be Venus? I'm like, because that would be strange. So, so all of a sudden, I'd be watching YouTube, and all of a sudden, I'd be like, Venus, bam, right there. I look at a horoscope and it says Libra, something in Venus, and I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Like everything all of a sudden was Venus, 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 Venus. I'm like, "Okay, thank you. You are Venus."
Right.
Heard that loud and clear. No, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so beautiful. One of my favorite moments, and I always say, I wonder if I sang my phrase with you guys too. You don't choose the gods choose you.
That's right.
Like, it's so true. I've had so many masculine gods, which is like
me too.
Surprising to me. Yeah. And recently Hecate has just been like her tough mama self, and I love her for it so much.
Love it.
But
I love her so much.
She's so just amazing on all fronts.
And she's so strong. So freaking
Scared
strong.
the frick out of me when I first met her because she came to me in dreams, and literally she came to me in this form. Like if I even explain it to you guys, you might freak you guys out too. I literally had this gray skeletal looking woman with long black hair.
That sounds like something she would do.
Yeah. Literally, it covered her face. It covered all around her, and it terrified me. And she had these like they seemed like henchmen. They were these skeletal,
beautiful,
gray, but black wings. It was unbelievable, and it freaked me out. And I'm like, I'm in and of the white light, only the highest and the best. I'm in and of the white light, only. I literally was conscious in my dream saying this, and she says, I am in and of the white light. And I was like, ah!
She's just so metal. That's the thing. Like she is
terrified me. And then she told me that she was Hecate, goddess of the witches. I said, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. But this is what she did. She says, I need to show you what you've done to my land. I need to show you and what your people have done to my land. Literally, her henchmen, her angels, literally took me, and we literally went through the whole world, and she pointed out all of these places, and I was in tears when we returned. It was just so sad because she was showing me all these places on the earth that have been hurt and pained because of us as humans. And it was an amazing trip. It was an amazing get to know ya.
Yeah. She's not subtle.
She's not subtle. She was not subtle.
I don't know, Diana. She can be. I mean, I use her a lot, and I use Kernunos a lot too. So I mean,
that's mine.
Yeah, that's mine. Yeah.
It's so funny that you call him that too.
Yeah, well, that's the way I was raised, was Kernunos. Yeah, I use him, and I use
Kernunos, and my bestie, she calls him something else, but I guess it's the way that they say it now. But I said, I call him queer no-no. So why are you calling? I don't understand.
Yeah. Well,
you're saying it because that's how they're telling you.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Yeah, that's
Just
what I
like
keep
my
hearing.
boys, Talk and Thought. You'll hear like both of those.
Yes.
The God, and I love him. He's so gentle and sweet and blah, blah, blah. The God that like came out of nowhere, and I was like, whoa. And my husband's in the other room, and he's gonna be like, yeah, most definitely was Hermes.
Oh, Hermes. Yeah.
Yeah,
I never had Hermes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He well, it came with a lot of like the traveling and stuff I've done, and like a lot of messages
Oh,
from
that makes
the
sense.
world and everything, and just the beautiful experience you guys were saying. Like I would see him everywhere, but we were actually at the observatorium in California, in Hollywood, and I felt his presence, and I just like was like, whoa, this is really cool to be able to travel here. And I looked up, and there's the huge mural of everyone, right? And right above me was Hermes being like, "Sup, girl? You're welcome." But oh man,
That's
the chattiest. So he will come in and just be like, and like pop out. And again, you don't get like, it's more of like that energy. And
Right.
so my husband knows when he like comes in, because he'll just be like, he's like, you're coming in with a lot of fast teleporting in and out. You're channeling your Hermes right now.
That's fantastic. Well, I've had you know who took me by surprise was Baphomet.
Oh.
Yeah.
And do you want to know what I had to learn with Baphomet?
Yeah.
It was my own duality.
Nice.
Listen, people are going to think I'm a lunatic right now, but I literally had sex with myself. Cindy is a male and a penis, and Cindy as a
Hey, John Winters.
Hi,
John Winters
I love
just.
you so much, John. I miss you.
Dude,
But
no,
it
Cindy, you
was
were
amazing.
totally on point. You notice how I said them, the pronoun
Yes.
them. So yes, I totally understand.
Yes.
And Baphomet has like a whole.
It was the coolest. It really was the coolest because Baphomet having both female and male genitalia. It was just amazing. It was an amazing experience.
Need your
It was
help,
a very
TW.
sexual, very intimate.
Hold on a minute, guys. What do you need, John? John's like, need your help. What's going on, Johnny boy? Do you need me to get off here and call you, or what?
The simplicity of duality and the reality. That was good, Tom. Very good. Yes.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's big for Tom.
Oh, I have an itchy palm. Money's coming.
I love Tom.
Oh, he said he needs you to call ASAP.
All right, you guys hang tight there and chat if you want.
Okay.
All right, I'm just going to pop off here quick.
Okay. I hope he's okay.
Yeah, me too.
He said, soon as you are done. He said, soon as you are done, Teddy. Okay. I guess he can't hear us.
Okay.
But, yeah, that was Pan. I've never had Hermes. That's interesting, actually.
I never expected that either. He just came out of nowhere, and I think it was a lot of just like the constant speaking with the dead, messages and dream work. But he's like, it's funny because like first it was Thoth, and again just
I say Thoth too.
Yeah, and it's like just more chill whispers and a little bit more concise, but like your best nerdy friend. And then Hermes, your party like best gay friend who always wants to go out clubbing and pulling pranks and is like just all of the coffee. He's adorable. I love them both so much.
That's amazing.
Yeah, but the old one is my like go-to, like my warm blanket. Like just everything, that I feel comfy and safe, and was like the first one that gave me that like foundation besides like the others and besides my own magic that I found myself, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who was that one?
The old one is like the father of all witches, like the man in the woods, like the one in the black cloak, like, or
that's
the horn
interesting.
god. Yeah, the horn god, but predating that. So
Got
there
it.
are some references of like that being Pan as well, but that's like one of the older like Cornish like gods, or the Buka or Baka. Yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So Guy Nash is one of mine that's been with me for a long time. And then his father, Shiva, came to me as well. They were just, you know, it's obviously you're as eclectic as I am, right? I mean, it's amazing that we can draw from so much amazing knowledge. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
It is amazing what we can learn and what we can be taught. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From the craziest dreams or visions, or you know what I mean?
Most definitely. And it's like I don't know if I told you guys this, I've been to Italy and Greece, and I've been to Apollo's temple on the mountain there where like the oracles and stuff are, and just like treading that land. And then my grandmother took me to so many museums, and they traveled the world, and there was a lot of like artifacts in the house. It looked like a little British museum. And I feel like that's where I came in contact with Thoth, like at first, and heard that just who knows why or how. And I have a lot of Germanic blood in me and everything, but it's like, yeah, I didn't just go, okay, these are the ones I need to talk to. It just like slowly unfolded and happened. And who knows, like those relationships, they're like friends. That's cool that you're like sharing your new friendship with Venus. Like,
yes,
you know?
Oh my gosh. Like I've never had, so after, I talked to my girlfriend and she's like, Cindy, I literally am seeing pink and purple energy all around you. And this is when I wasn't for certain yet that it was Venus. She's like, Cindy, this makes me, she's like, I'm pretty certain this is Venus.
Yeah.
And then all of that stuff came in, like boom, boom, boom. Okay, you're Venus. I get it. And so every time I've had her show up, at least the last 2 lives I've done, and I cannot tell you the amount of intense pink love. Listen, pink is not my color. I don't know. I'm not a pink kind of girl.
Yeah.
So much intense pink love energy, self-love, romantic love, and then on top of that, like this brilliant purples just for those higher chakra psychic stuff. It just intensifying the whole experience. Just amazing to me.
So
yeah.
Hi guys, I'm back.
I know Barry say that he's okay, but it still makes me nervous. He's okay.
Yeah, well, he's okay, but we have to end the show here in about 3 minutes because I have to go work with him on something that he needs. He has a client that needs my help, so I need to go do that. You know how that works. So
I do.
I really do.
Yeah.
Well, I'm thankful you
yeah.
guys asked me on. This was a lovely conversation.
Thank you so much, Megan, for coming. This is just like a warm blankie feeling. Like I'm just so happy. Oh.
You two drive me nuts. Anyways, but it's a good nuts.
I'm sure Megan and I have been together in other lifetimes.
I'm sure you have, and I probably was the old wizard with the long ass beard going, well, you two just get over there and, I know. But,
I heard a ruckus.
I heard a ruckus.
It had to be you two. That's one of my
We'll have to. We'll have to get you back on here soon, though, Megan, and we'll have to have some fun. If you ever want to pop on Talk with Teddy, my other show, you're welcome. Love to have you.
I'll be getting mine up and going soon.
Whenever she gets her shit together, because she's been telling me that for 2 weeks. So,
I know.
there you go.
I just don't know how to minimize like my thought process of what I wanted, because I want it to be my witch, my psychic, my just normal Cindy. I literally want to call it just Cindy.
And I think you should. That's my belief.
Mm-hmm. But it won't be just Cindy, because I'll have like Megan on, and we're just talking witch stuff. My bestie and Megan. It would be so amazing.
Yeah, you should.
Love it.
You should.
Mm-hmm. So
all right. Well, so mote it be.
So mote it be. Let's it be.
Yep. So I have to play a quick video, and then we're gonna get out of here. And Megan, thank you so much. You want to sit and watch this? You want to watch this quick video, by the way, Meg?
Oh,
it's all about Ireland and the trip, so you're gonna want to watch it quick. So, all right, guys, thank you for hanging out with us. We're gonna leave you here with a video, and then a quick goodbye right after that. Please be safe. Please take care of everybody around you, and remember.
Send love to the collective, my friends. Say it, Teddy.
And wherever there is darkness, there is always
the
light. All right, here it comes. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ted Vanson Jr., and I am a huge John Wayne fan. A Quiet Man, which was one of his iconic movies, was shot and filmed in Ireland. Well, let me tell you something, folks. I'm inviting you to join me in Ireland. And before you say you can't afford it, yes, you can. The company that I am doing this with is called MysteriousAdventureTours.com. I want you to email them. Check out their website, but email them at MysteriousAdventureTours@gmail.com. They have installment plans where you can put so much away to go to this trip until it's paid for. You have a whole year to do it, because we're going June 15th through the 23rd, 2021. Summer solstice. Amazing. Ireland, summer solstice? What's better than that? Wait. I told you what was better. It's a quiet man's journey. We're going to the locations where they filmed The Quiet Man. That's amazing, right? Folks, you can afford this trip. Again, contact MysteriousAdventureTours.com. All right. Shortly, a video is going to be coming up here after me, and I would like you to watch it. Check out the information at the end, and do yourself a favor and contact them. Join me in 2021 for the summer solstice and for A Quiet Man's Journey. We'll see you there.
Awesome.
So what do you think, Megan?
Totally sold. Like Ernie and I, we already packed our bags. So let's go.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I know it's going to be a great trip, and I can't wait. I mean, just the opening part with that ritual site with all the rocks and all that stuff. Oh my God, it was so beautiful, and I can't wait. So, and my favorite part is bellying up to. Oh yeah, but bellying up to an old Irish pub and having a drink too with the natives, that's going to be so much fun. And we're going to be enjoying some of the festivities. They're going to have bands of Celtic and Irish music being played that we're going to be able to join in on. And dance. There's going to be so much fun that we're going to do.
You have to know something about Ireland. They don't put ice in your drinks.
No, it is.
I know.
But from what I understand, there are some that do now. They just don't put a lot. They only give you like 1 or 2 cubes. So.
I'm a weird one that I'm like okay without ice. So when we were in Italy and Greece, everybody that was with us was like, "This is tragedy," and we're like, "I'm all right.
I'm all right." I'm like, I drink warm pop. It's fine.
Yeah. You just have to feel it, because once you get there, it's all about that. You just let it come into you and enjoy it. So it'll be a lot of fun. So, all right, I got to get out of here, guys. It was so fun to have both of you on with me as usual. Paratalk Radio. I love you too. I heart you.
I'm like holding up my phone. So it's like my heart. Yeah.
There you go.
Put the other half in.
All right, guys. All right, everybody. We will talk to you soon. We love you all, and we'll see you next Monday for James Mulligan and his buddy Jeff. We're going to have a good time, and I'm trying to remember what we were going to talk about, but I can't remember. So, but it'll be fun either way. So make sure you pop in next Monday. And we'll talk to you soon. Oh, and tomorrow for Talk with Teddy, I have the beautiful Alyssa Trahan from Nashville that's coming on to sing a couple songs with us tomorrow from Nashville directly. She's going to be joining us. So please, with Talk with Teddy at 11 o'clock, pop on and listen to this young lady. She is phenomenal.
Tarot Tuesday with Cindy, with Psychic Cindy, is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
So plenty of time to watch both.
That's right. Both.
That's right. All right. Well, you got anything coming up, Meg?
Just a feature film here in July that I'll be doing makeup on, and then some stuff planned with the Ghost Finders at the end of this month. So we have 2 possible locations that we're, like I said, we're going to try and get an episode in. But the footage we're going over now is so cool. And I'm like, Dan and I actually were talking and like squealing about it today, like little schoolgirls. It was amazing.
Squealing, I love it.
So maybe we should get you and Danny on.
Yeah,
like
you can have Rob, Dan, and I, like, and have
because we'd be able to fit everybody on.
Well, do you want to do? Think about the 15th the 22nd or the 29th. Let me know.
Okay, perfect.
22nd or 29th. It's the last 2 Mondays of the month. Let me know, and we'll throw one of those for you guys.
All right, sounds good. Love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you too. All right, thank you. Bye everybody. Be safe.
Let's hit it, boo-boo. Bye, guys.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Paratalk Radio with Ted Wolf and Psychic Cindy. Catch us next Monday for another fantastic guest. Please check out our show as well as others on the WLFE DB Radio Network. And remember, like, follow, and share with everyone.
Join us at WLFE-DB.com for upcoming shows and so much more.